This is Joe Castello's WFO Radio Ignition, covering everything that has wheels, an engine, and a driver.
The reason I race is to get the chicks. You know what I mean?
NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula One, sports cars, and NHRA drag racing.
Hey guys, just want to let you know, WFO rocks.
WFO Radio is total motorsports.
It's just so cool.
Fasten your seatbelts, fire up the ignition, and drop the hammer.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, here's your host, Joe Castello.
WFO, hey everybody. Welcome back to WFO Ignition, the podcast that will get you through the first couple of days of your morning commute or evening commute. Or maybe you're just sitting at home like most of our listeners, doing nothing. Either way, you're going to enjoy this because we, as in I and Giovanni in Miami, we're back, we're refreshed, we're ready for the second half of the WFO season. That is right. So much great stuff going on. Kurt Busch, race winner, shows that punky kid little brother of his who's really the boss. Who's really the boss? All those times that you won stuff, it was never against me head-to-head. Is it just me, or was that like the first real great battle for a win that they have had? Feels like it. It was fun. It was fun. Joey Logano, late going, messed up on a restart, basically kind of got shuffled back. And it was Kurt and Kyle. With Kurt Busch picking up the win. We'll talk about that. Formula One, the mortal lock comes in. I told you. Giovanni, I told him. First of all, how are you? Are you well?
I am great? Well. I am great. I could not be better. I am peachy keen.
Good.
But, okay.
Mortal lock.
Joey Logano did not mess up.
You could be retired if you had listened to me.
Before your mortal lock, Joey Logano didn't really mess up the restart. Once they went caution, he was dead toast in the water.
Yeah,
the guys with better tires in the back got him. And I hope everyone did cash in the mortgage last week. Joe gave you the mortal lock. I went and looked up the odds. At the time, it was minus 120, which we discussed is you have to put up 120 to win 100. So you give them $120, and when you go collect, they give you $220. And I hope all of you laid the mortgage, and we're ready to double down this week on something else. Because that's what we do around here.
Mortal lock.
Once you're playing with house money,
you had the winner.
You just go splurge and throw the money up in the air.
Exactly. You had it. You had the winner. I gave you the winner. It was dead. Like, I don't know what else I could have said. That would have made you be more confident.
So I expect everyone to have won at least $1 out there. Some of you, bigger shots should have bet a nickel or a dime. And
bigger shots.
You guys know who you are.
You're a big shot out there. You're a big shot. Right?
Hey.
Well, it's hard.
Exactly. So there you have it. Mortal lock. You received it. You got it. You got the winner on WFO. If nothing else, that should lock you into WFO for the next couple years. Right? You become WFO listeners. You had it.
Till we lose.
Till you lose. Mortal lock. It was a mortal lock. Now, listen, it's not that hard, actually. That one is not hard to pick. The idea that Lewis Hamilton is going to go win his 6th British Grand Prix, and he's a Brit. The fix was in. Come on, you know that. You know that sometimes everything is just going right, and you just know it.
5-horse is a mortal lock.
It's a mortal lock. And it came in on that one. What can you say? It was a good race, though. More importantly. And sometimes you don't need it to be a mortal lock, since I'm doing these.
Sometimes you can be walking around lucky and not know it.
Walking around lucky and not know it. The immortal, speaking of wisdom, of Trotter from Let It Ride. One of the greatest gambling movies of all time. So Lewis Hamilton wins the race, but the driver of the race was Charles LeClerc. LeClerc, in the Americanized version, who is apparently now the number 1 driver at Ferrari.
Apparently? I mean,
apparently. It seems to be the case.
It's, it definitely looks that way, right? At least on the track and...
Past couple of races, certainly, and then with Sebastian Vettel having his total epic meltdown.
Sebastian had that race in Canada that he theoretically should have won, And Charles had the race last week or 2 weeks ago that he got pushed out of the way in Austria.
Yeah, so
and he also had the race where the car broke and let him down when he was running away with a victory.
So what you're saying is things could be a lot better for Ferrari if just a couple of little moments had been slightly different.
Definitely.
The Canadian race, the stewards did really kind of ruin that one. The guy, he makes a little slip up while leading, and they take it away from him. I think that'll come back to bite them a little bit. That will
least the last
happen.
Few weeks we have
will happen again.
We have seen some tire bumping now the last few weeks, and they did let it slide.
The racing has been exciting. That was
I gotta
exciting race.
Yes, I have not been happy with the dominance of Lewis Hamilton, who now has won 7 out of the 10 races so far this year. But I think it's just him just showing that he's the top dog, man.
He is the top dog. He's the head honcho, the big cheese, the top dog. Lewis Hamilton wins. Valtteri Bottas second. Max Verstappen. Those guys are leading the Drivers' Championship.
Yes, in this case, Vettel was, Leclerc was third. Gasly was fourth, and Verstappen came in fifth after his incident with Vettel.
Exciting racing. And IndyCar was in action as well. Which,
yes,
I watched.
We saw the beginning, which was the tear-jerker, heartfelt moment.
Yes, Wickens going around, and that was great. It was like, wow, that is a tremendous comeback, and I was very excited, very excited. Pagenaud picks up the win there, and so there you have it. Covering the world of motorsports. The National Hot Rod Association is getting ready to go out on the Western Swing. Denver, Sonoma, Seattle. I am going to stay out between Denver and Sonoma and go to someplace in Utah, where my aunt now lives, formerly New Jersey, and she is now in Utah, and I'm going to go check out Utah. And I know very little about Utah. I've never been in Utah. A little afraid of Utah, but I'm going to go.
Why, you're afraid of the magic underwear?
Yes, exactly. You're laughing. You love the magic underwear. No, man, don't want to. I don't know what I don't know, so I don't want to characterize it in any way. I want to come back and be able to give a full report on what I thought. South Florida kid goes to Utah and give a fair assessment of what I see. Now I can tell you what I've heard, but what's the point of that? Let me just go, and I'll give you the whole debrief session on next week's WFO Ignition. Now, I'm not going to be able to be in studio because I will be there, and I guess I thought we're going to have to do a show on Wednesday or something. We'll have to figure that out. When to get me on the phone line, on the Skype line, for a full report from somewhere in Utah, which I don't really know. I fly into Salt Lake. I know that. It's like an hour drive. But it's going to be interesting. But what I am more excited about, honestly, is what comes first is the Dodge Nationals out there in Denver, Vandermeer Speedway. That is what's going to be great. We've got the big block party. It's going to be a whole lot of fun, a lot of interesting stuff going on out there in the world of the NHRA. I'm excited about the Western Swing. We are going to find out. Here it is, the 18th annual Mopar Block Party on tap for Thursday, July 18th, Golden, Colorado. And the Coors beer flows.
Coors Light.
Yeah, let me tell you, the Coors Light is very, very great out there. Well, not just Coors Light, Coors Banquet, the real Coors. You don't get the light, you get the banquet. And it's so fresh and it's so perfect. It's really good. Macro brew. But when you're right there where they make it, the ice is melting off the Rockies and they take the melted ice and they make beer out of it. It's pretty cool. Fun deal. That's a race that I recommend. Like, if you're only going to go to one race, the Dodge Mile High Nationals is probably the one you should go to. Probably. Just because there's so much great stuff associated with it. The nature that is Denver, and the Rockies, the Coors. It's a really good event. Really good event. So I'm excited about that. Sonoma, very cool as well. And we are going to know some things at the end of this. Like who's for real and who is for fake. Who's for fake?
Who's faking the funk?
Who's faking the funk? Exactly. and we can get into that a little bit as well. So we'll talk some NASCAR, we'll talk some Formula One. If you're new to WFO Radio, we encourage you to subscribe. SportsCollision, everybody's favorite show within a show. Was it last week that Vlad was in the studio?
It was indeed.
Yeah, I didn't give Vlad a call this week. Not that I don't want him in on the show. It's just, always pressed for time and everything. And when Vlad comes around, it changes the dynamic. Like it becomes like a little more of a party, a little more fun.
He's consuming our time.
A little less work, a little less
Wasting
nose to
our
the
time.
grindstone, that kind of stuff. The poker guys, what did the poker guys talk about this week on Poker Action Line with Big Dave Lemon and Joe Rodriguez? Is the World Series of Poker still going?
Yes.
Still going.
Of course, that thing lasts forever. I believe they're down to the final table is what I overheard.
They're on the
today.
final table.
They're down to the final table.
Wow, that's cool. Who's winning? What's the chip count? Then never mind. I'm kidding. But if you want to hear the chip count, you can go to Poker Action Line on Apple Podcasts. What are you laughing at? A lot of people love poker, man. It's so true.
Just turn on the TV. It'll be on TV.
It's on there. I don't think they should be allowed to wear sunglasses. That's my big poker rule. I don't think they should be allowed to wear sunglasses.
Headsets, sunglasses, hoodies, all kinds of crap.
Back in the day, was Doc Holliday allowed to wear sunglasses?
Nobody was allowed to wear a gun around his face.
Well, exactly. That's right. You had to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. You had to know when to walk away. You need to know when to run, right?
I think that was the rotisserie chicken.
The
guy.
fried chicken. If you wore sunglasses or some sort of face shield back in the Old West, I don't think they were going to let you play. And so it's a little ridiculous that now in the modern era, guys are able to wear the Daft Punk helmets playing poker. Because, well, there's no body language to be read. You're just a guy in a suit. Darth Vader versus Daft Punk versus a stormtrooper versus a guy with sunglasses at the final table. I think I just set up a great SportsCenter bit. If you see it, you heard it here first. You heard it here first. All right, let's get into the NASCAR results. Now, I will say, for those of you that follow the the Facebook posts, you are aware this past week did some hanging out in sunny South Florida. This is the kind of thing about living here in sunny South Florida, hashtag SoFlo Life, etc., that you don't have to go anywhere to go someplace cool. I was thinking about that. Like, we drove 25 minutes in our own neighborhood and ended up at this really nice resort called Turnberry Isle. And they have beautiful multiple golf courses, and they had this fantastic, water park with many slides and a beautiful pool, and it was fantastic. And it's really, for the most part, I don't want to say right in the neighborhood, but very close to get to.
Okay, I just got buzzed from HR that their check hasn't cleared yet, so you don't have to mention them by name is what they're telling me.
Well, I want to share it with the people out there who listen to WFO. Maybe in the future we could get them as a sponsor. But it was just a great time. So I would highly recommend it. But the best part, man, playing golf.
Well, we enjoyed the golf amenities.
Giovanni played his
That's right.
first
You tell him.
holes of golf on a real golf course ever in his life.
In a real golf cart.
He was in that's not the first time you drove a golf cart.
On a golf course?
Right. But that's what's comedic about it. And I wonder if Andy Crane is out there. The first time ever in his life, and before I go any further, let me say happy birthday to I think of Andy Crane. I can't help but also think of Gary Corbett, because they're like the big celebrities, right? Andy Crane, big in the community, professional golfer. Gary Corbett, musician, Grammy. It's Gary Corbett's birthday.
Hey! Happy birthday, Gary.
Yes, but when I think of them, I think that they both kind of pop up in my brain, like celebrity listeners of WFO who deserve kudos for reasons. But anyway, Andy Crane is a professional golfer. Giovanni went out there, and he had a good rip.
That's right.
You had one or two good rips, many bad ones. I was doing very well.
What about the one that went straight into the water? That was a rip, man.
Man, that was a big plop. That was like a 4-foot straight up. It was like good hit, right in the water. Sploosh. And there it is.
And here you go, Gary.
I had a couple of really good rips, but they all started after the first hole. The first hole, I was I don't want to say what it was.
Say what happened, but yeah, he did not have a very productive first few hits.
No.
Or I guess strokes.
Mark it 10. And it was really probably more than 10. Mark it 10. I was very concerned. I needed to settle down, right? I was organizing the whole operation, right? I had you, I had the little one, I had the missus of Giovanni is out there. We're like, oh my God, is everybody going to be okay? And it was terrible. But I settled down immediately. When I got really good, though, is when it rained after the third hole, and we got rid of you guys, and me and the gray went out, and we got 6 holes in, just me and the gray. There was 0 people on the course, man. That was awesome. He made a bad shot. Again, do it again. How many mulligans did we get? As many as we wanted.
Well, I know. That's why no one was taking score.
I should have been playing 3 or 4 balls. I don't know what I was doing. I should have just had like 3 or 4. Just kept hitting them. There was nobody around. What was I doing? All of a sudden, I've had less of a good time because I'm realizing I didn't take full advantage of the situation.
But I got to say, I definitely enjoyed the golf, and I will do it again.
Yes, not on that course, though. And that's the problem.
Well, I mean, I guess if we get to go back there, you never know. I heard me and Joe were making friends left and right, and so we'll see what happens. But the whole golf cart and then a cooler full of beer and all the amenities, I mean.
It's kind of funny that you didn't really understand. Like, it's good. It's wonderful that here in your advanced age you haven't had a bit of an awakening that there's the real reason you're doing it isn't necessarily just to chase the little white ball around. It's the fun of everything else that's associated with it. The drinking the beer and the driving the cart and the checking out the nature and the ball busting with your friends about how they messed up and then you mess up and just that's the fun of the golf. That's what it is.
Well, it has to be because chasing the little white ball around is definitely not fun.
Well, nobody
on its own.
When you got that one good shot, it was fun. That one good shot was really good. Gia did like a hockey puck slap on that.
So
thing.
if I really wasn't out there, if I was out there, like really trying and.
No, you were really trying.
No, but I mean, like
that's all you had.
Like with the interest of it's a par 4, I need to make it in 4 or 5 shots. I can see how it could be frustrating and upsetting to people. I can see people getting frustrated out there.
Well, you have to lower your expectations.
But I just went out there. I was like, if it takes 20 shots, as long as we're not like stalling anybody. And so we went out there, and it was late enough that I don't think we were going to interfere with anybody. But then, as is, once the rain started coming, we were pretty much on our own. I think we let those guys early on when we were at the first hole play through because they were coming backwards, and that was their last hole.
Yes.
So we just let them get out of our way. And then we never really saw anybody else out there. Well, we saw people as we were golfing around, but
very few. And I saw lots of iguanas.
And,
I did. I see iguanas.
The geese.
Egyptian geese.
Yes.
It was great.
It was fun. It was
so wonderful.
So we had 2 thumbs up to the golf.
Why can't we just live our whole lives on vacation and do nothing and spend lots of money and not have to work? Why can't we do that? Wouldn't that be great?
Because some of us were born good-looking instead of rich.
I guess so. Oh, man. But that was it was a very good time. I had fun. Hopefully everyone can tell I'm completely refreshed. Wait till Thursday, and I'll be back to the way I was. But right now,
it's hard.
I am wonderful. All right, let's talk about the Kentucky Speedway Saturday night under the lights. It was kind of cool watching over there. Kyle Busch. Kurt Busch takes the win. Let's hear what Kurt had to say about, smacking around his little brother.
Yeah, what an amazing finish, and to have it go our way right there. There was something about our team meeting today. Our lead statistician told me that there's never been a green-white checkered at Kentucky Speedway. And in my mind, he just kept going with the meeting. But I said, you know what? There's going to be one today. I want to be part of it, and I want to come out on top. It's amazing what happened for us to have that restart. To have Kyle Larson behind me in the 6th position. Spotter said, teammate's going to go with you. I'm like, well, is he? Really? And he did. And he did a phenomenal job so that I didn't have to look in the mirror. And all what I had to do was play offense out in front of me. And what a battle. What a battle with my little brother to race him side by side, to try to play the chess game at 180 miles an hour on the side draft. We're wide open through turns 1 and 2. And we were trying to go wide open through 3 and 4. And it was a matter of me just staying as close as I could to his right rear quarter panel because he was on my left rear down the straightaway. I had to be on his right rear through the corners. And as we drove down into turn 3 On the last lap, I just stared straight at his door. I could see the number 18 to my left, and I never lifted until I heard him lift. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I got to still miss the wall. And he gave me just enough room, as a true racer would, or as my little brother would. But I'm really proud of the way that we finished this race, 1-2, put on one hell of a show. One of those old school type races where it's two guys duking it out. Just happen to be brothers, different manufacturers. But this one, I can't wait to go watch the video of and tell people about it and show that the sport of NASCAR and the production and the pride that everybody has to try to get to victory lane was shown in those last few laps.
And I threw him a beatdown, just like when we were kids. And I used to give him a wet willy and a noogie. No, it was very exciting. It was an exciting finish. It was a good battle. It was a lot of fun. Kurt Busch, I think about the kid who, started off cocky, got punched in the face by Jimmy Spencer. I was on Kurt's side for that deal. Won a championship. Just so many great things that has happened in his. And he's still, when he gets out of the car and he's just like, what'd he say? Like, hell yeah. That was great. Good job, Kurt. Kurt and Kyle.
Did he? I didn't hear him thanking the racing gods for gifting him one after last week. He was claiming NASCAR stole one from him.
Well, exactly.
Huh? How about that?
Yeah, it just you hang around. Some are going to go for you. Some are going to go against you. You just got to take it as they come, which is why you got to. I hate to say, like, I always want people to be themselves, but you got to know that they're going to come, they're going to go. So when you make a little bit of a jackass of yourself a week ago, whining about the racing gods, like doing something, that look, the racing gods are right on your side this week, right? And what do? You have to eat crow? You don't have to eat crow, but it would have been good, like, to say, yeah, man, last week, what a jerk I was.
I got the shaft last week, but I got the victory.
I got the win this week.
With the unexpected caution with Joey Logano running away with the race with 5, 6, 7 laps to go.
Exactly.
That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Fell on the lap.
But Bob was still in it.
Kurt and Kyle.
Kurt Busch wins the race. Kyle Busch second. Kyle was not happy.
Kyle.
He knows the bragging rights now go to Kurt. Eric Jones third. Kyle Larson fourth. Denny Hamlin fifth. Clint Boyer sixth. Joey Logano seventh. Boy, poor Joey. It was fast. Daniel Suarez eighth. Ryan Newman ninth. Chris Buescher rounding out the top 10. The rest of everybody. Paul Menard, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Ryan Blaney, Eric Almirola, Chase Elliott, Matty D, baby, Matt DiBenedetto. 16th.
Another good run.
Bowman the Showman, 17th. Lord Byron, 18th. Martin Truex Jr., 19th. And Brad Keselowski. I really do wonder, like, Matt DiBenedetto's driving ability. He does consistently finish, when they finishes up there pretty well in equipment that's good, but not, the best of the best.
No one would confuse his team for Hendrick Motorsports or even Roush.
I bet Matty D could be had as a driver for a song. Alex Bowman, 17th. William Lord Byron, 18th. Martin Truex Jr., 19th. Brad Keselowski, 20th. Ryan Preece, Kevin Harvick, Bubba Wallace, Daniel Hemrick, Michael McDowell, Ty Dillon, Matt Tifft, Corey LaJoie, David Reagan, Jimmy Johnson, Ross Chastain, Landon Castle, Bailey Curry, Quinn Hoff, Austin Dillon, and B.J. McLeod rounding out the field. Hey, I'm wondering a stat that I, probably could have looked up but didn't. When was the last time a race winner didn't run the next race? With our previous week's winner.
Right, I see what you're saying.
Like, a guy went out and won a Cup Series race and then went home.
That is a good one.
That doesn't happen every day. It's not like a common thing, you would think. And seems to be the case right here. Congratulations to Kurt Busch.
I'll get the staff on that
Get the staff on that one. See what the staff has to say while I tell everybody about our great sponsors. You guys know, WFO, we have great sponsors who make it all possible. I know there's a million free podcasts out there now, and they don't have sponsors, and they've got probably, way more listeners than we have. But the reason that we have sponsors is because we know that you guys are motivated listeners. That's the difference. Not everybody has motivated listeners. A lot of people have a lot of listeners that will not do anything that they say. We, on the other hand, we know that we've got great motivated listeners that they will try RoadAxeCoffeeandGrills.com and get the hot sauces and the spice rubs and the amazing Scott Palmer Capco Blend coffee. Isn't that great? Giovanni, even 5-hour-old Scott Palmer blend. Isn't it great?
The coffee is great. It's not like that crap Bonnie buys.
It's not. FrankHawley.com, the Dragster Adventure. Got to go on that. Of course, WFO radio listeners, and recruit your friends. Like, what should I get my buddy for Christmas? This is what you should get. Samtech.edu. Are you all caught up on the Factory Stock Podcast? I was listening to Factory Stock Podcast earlier today, and that brings up, wow, let me get rid of it through. Let me get through the sponsors before I tell you about something cool that I did. MagicDryUS.com. Let me get rid of this.
I'm
holding a piece of paper. I want to get rid of the paper.
You had a spill and you used Magic Dry. That's what you're trying to tell me.
I'm trying to tell everybody about the spill that I had, and I wanted to.
So don't use Bounty. Just use the Magic Dry.
MagicDryUS.com. Great for your kitchen. Don't think so. But if you have a shop or if you have a cat, get Magic Dry or CatSpotLitter.com. HusseyPerformance.net, David Allen and the team over there doing a great job. And Hanks Defers, Metalworking Lubricants, Hanks Defers Laboratories. Big thanks to them. And Drag Racing Edge Magazine and EV3 and all of that stuff. But I was on another podcast this week. I was a guest on someone else's podcast, Giovanni.
I did not know that.
I know.
Who did you clear that with? Who authorized this?
I know. I authorized it. I made the call.
I didn't see. Did legal clear that?
Legal did clear it. In fact, I ran it up through the legal department. The legal department said yes, as long as I can get some plugs in for WFO, which I did.
Very good.
So now I want the WFO universe to go listen. The problem is the request to be on came in like last week after our shows were already over. But the good news is it's still up there, and at very least, I would hope the WFO audience would go and check this out because I'm on there. And if you end up liking it and you want to listen to it on a regular basis, I'm okay with that too. Now, there's a little more to the story that I am reluctant to share all of it because it would, I don't know, I don't want to characterize the way I feel about these kind of things. You know what I mean? I like to come across as like perfect, right? It's the impression I like to get. I like to try to do my best. I do think of perfection
when I think of Castello.
Well, of course, as you should. And we are Yankee fans. We identify with perfection. I want to, but honestly speaking, I was very honored and humbled that someone else who does a podcast has invited me on their podcast. Because you may or may not notice, but I don't get invited on a lot of podcasts. People don't want WFO Joe on their podcast for whatever reason. I mean, people have
professional. You steal their limelight. I know how that works.
Is that what's going on? I don't understand what's
Wally
going on.
Pip type syndrome.
Well, I'm a little sad about it, honestly, between me and you, and I don't want anybody saying anything. But when this guy, Brian Wagner, from the Dragzine podcast, decided to reach out to me, and I have posted the link and shared the link on Twitter and Facebook, and invite me on and ask me some questions and have a conversation with me, I felt like, wow, this is great. And also unusual, given the vast number of all podcasts out there that are doing podcasts in NHRA drag racing. How many other ones have I been on? I don't know. Not too many. And I kind of wonder, like, I've been doing this for 10 years. I know what's up. Nobody invites WFO Joe on the podcast. But then, you know, what were you suggesting the reason is? I mean, I'm open to anything.
Wally Pip type stuff.
Well, my first thought was that they don't like what I have to say. You know, they don't like where I'm coming from.
No, I don't look at it that way. I think it's not the perspective. I think the issue is
against Italians.
Well, yeah, that too.
I mean, that's where I go first. Prejudice against Italians. Prejudice.
Well, no, because of course, I look at you and I think, yeah, Italians.
Well, exactly, of course. Right. Like Joe Pesci and Goodfellas. This girl's
that's exactly what I think about. You
She's
and
broad,
Ace.
Hendry. She's broad. Can you believe it? She's prejudiced against Italians. But it's not that. Okay, what is it? What could it be? I don't have good takes. I'm not knowledgeable.
You hadn't considered what I told you, that you can't bring on a guy like that on the show?
I guess. I don't know. I try to surround myself with people that are better than me.
That's why I'm here.
Well, except in this case.
Thank you. That was great.
Yeah.
I knew you always had
Of course. You're comic relief, man. You have funny stuff that comes out of your mouth every once in a while. It's good. It's good stuff. Regardless of the reasoning.
Well, irregardless, I don't want to steal the show, so I can't be funny 100% of the time.
Irregardless is not a word.
Dude, we're in South Florida. I can say irregardless.
Supposedly. And salmon. You can say all of
I'm
those
literally climbing the walls here.
Literally climbing the walls. Literally climbing the walls here. But it was great. I got asked a bunch of questions about quarter mile last week on the show on NHRA Nitro. The big rumors about the return to quarter mile, that's all happening. And
now, the rumors are happening or the actual return to quarter mile is happening?
The rumors are based in reality.
Happening. Oh, so there is some reality.
There's a real discussion happening about the return to quarter mile, which I don't always throw down my opinion. But in this case, I did. And I do. I think it's bad. I'm open. Listen, you want the politically correct line, followed by the reality, which is what I gave on NHRA Nitro during my time last week. It's definitely a story that's got legs enough to talk about. And we talked about many things on Dragzine, but this is one of them.
Remember when this first occurred, the thing, like being a numbers kind of person, I thought like records and all the time and everything, the dawn of time has always been a quarter mile. And so I can understand how there's some sentimentality to that. But
of course,
in the end, it has to be safety, the most important
Well, but
thing.
why, now, though, we finally got everybody acclimated to it. And as soon as we get everybody acclimated to the dang thing, now we're going to talk about changing it. And ultimately, my opinion is that they're not going to be able to do it successfully. And so you just got everybody riled up for nothing. That's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're going to run it. Maybe it's going to be great. Maybe I'll be there, and I will be the first, and I said it right away. Man, I am going to be the first person to tell you, wow, they really successfully did it, and it was so great, and it turned out to be awesome, and I'm so happy that they did it, and I'm back at quarter mile, yeah, if that turns out to be true. But I don't know. I don't see it.
Well, remember, back before they went to the 1,000 mile because of the necessity. So, yeah. 1,000 mile. The large father in an interview had suggested the shorter distance for many years when every time we would see him either at his place or whenever. Yes. I feel like whenever I was there producing an interview that you were doing.
Big Daddy Don Garlits, and I've used that story many, many times. Big Daddy Don Garlits was the first person to tell me.
This was years before it was
prior to, because you guys started coming to the Gator Nationals in like 2004, 2005. I think it was like 2006, 2007. He mentioned it. He mentioned two things to me in person in a conversation we had, and one was 1,000 foot, and the other was a 1 or 2 engine rule. And the 1,000-foot thing was like, really? And he said, yes, they're going to have to. The cars are getting too quick. Cars are getting too fast. The tracks are just not able to be extended, and that's that. So,
and he also mentioned that whole thing, that really what was going on in those last couple hundred feet, except engines being blown because guys were just holding it.
Well, right. Well, and what happened with Scott Coletta happened. It was terrible and horrific, which happened the weekend we were at Yankee Stadium for the final goodbye of Yankee Stadium in 2008. And since then, it has been 1,000 foot. And, of course, you had some people complaining at the very beginning. But what I believe is that any genuine fan would never request drivers do something that is going to put them in a very uncomfortable position. And here we are. And so the idea of holding an opinion, which is this, I'm starting off that this is a no for me. I have no power. But my initial position is I don't need it. I don't need it. Hey, do you want to go eat a 50-pound ribeye? No, I don't need a 50-pound ribeye. I'll have a regular one. I just don't need it. I'm beyond it. I'm okay with the way it is. I like it. I really don't think that there's a bunch of new fans that are going to show up. I really think that the drag universe is what it is, and it's going to be what it is, and that's it. And so you go to 1,320 feet, and everybody is throwing ideas out there. I got into like a mini, discussion debate because I was looking at the Facebook today with Bobby Bennett and Don O'Neill and a bunch of these guys about the sport, like what needs to be done. And I don't know why, but everybody is suggesting that the sport needs to be cut and limited and reduced. And I disagree. But just like with everything, this is why I don't get invited on the podcast, man, because I disagree. I'm not compliant.
Okay.
I have a different take. My take is different. If nothing else, my take is different. You need to grow. You need to expand. You need to increase. People don't come in droves People don't show up for less. Hey, they're offering less. They've reduced. Let's do it. Yay. That's just not what happens. Sports leagues, yeah, we're going to cut back the number of teams. People don't go, wow, this sport's going great. What we're going to do is we're going to diminish the amount of, oh, wow, let's go check it out now. We weren't going to see it before, but now we're going to go see it because there's less. I just don't get it. I don't get it.
I guess I could see that maybe say baseball season is kind of long if you want to go back to like 150, 152, or 144. And I know the ownership would never go for that.
Right.
But I could see cutting back 18 to 20 games from a baseball schedule as maybe a little less inventory, making each game maybe mean a little bit more.
Exactly.
Especially, in baseball, which is such a numbers game because it takes so long and you play so many games that it averages out so much.
A worthwhile discussion to have, as are all of these discussions. I'm not saying let's not have the discussion.
But the NFL's not giving back 2 games. They're talking about adding 2 games.
Well, exactly. See, I don't like the idea of shortening the Major League Baseball schedule. I mean, yeah, a couple games here or there when you're talking about 162 games, whatever, you are going to throw into question all the stats and everything again, but not that they mean anything. I don't think anybody even knows what the single-season home run record is anymore. So if you just want to, get rid of all of that, that's
61.
fine. 61. Good answer, Giovanni. But I like knowing that when I can go to a game, there's a good chance there's going to be a game. I like that.
You like having all that inventory.
I like having all that inventory. I
don't
need it to be super exclusive. There's only this many games, and I'm going to be the guy who's got a ticket for the game, and everybody's going to want to be me because I'm at the game, and I'm going to something exclusive. I've been to plenty of exclusive things in my life. With exclusivity comes a big pain in the ass. It's just a fact. Typically a line, the line that I will choose and try to avoid, and very often do find a way to avoid the line. But a bunch of stuff. Increased cost of concessions, of everything. Not that it's cheaper, but, you cut out 10 games, they're going to make that money. They're going to want to make that money back somehow.
Absolutely.
They're going to want to make the money back. And the same is true for everything that anybody cuts. They're gonna not just be happy with less. Oh, there's fewer games. They're going to be more expensive. Oh, you players, you're playing less games. You're going to be paid less. I don't like to do it that way. I think there's another way to do it. There's another way. Like, for instance, on NHRA Nitro during my time this week, because it is timely, I am going to give my newest concept for how to everybody thinks they want to save the sport of drag racing. All right, I got my concept too. I got my idea. And it has nothing to do with cut. Johnny Pro, our great friend Johnny Pro. We should cut this, and we should cut back that, and we should only run this, and we should cut back that. It's like, nobody wants to cut everything. Everything you got out there is got a fan base. And you got, let's call it 25,000 people showing up. Well, 15,000 of them are there to see the nitro cars. And, 2,000 of them are there to see the alcohol cars. And 3,000 are there to see Pro Mod. And the others are there to see Pro Stock and Sportsman cars. I'm just making all this up. You cut out any one of those things, your numbers are going down. And you got to make them back up. Or you just have less. And it's just so easy to say, oh, yeah, do this and that, when you have no consequence. Hey, look, man, that's where we were.
Yeah.
That's exactly the spot. We just saw a commercial for the place that we hung out. It was pretty great.
Isn't it great?
It was. It was great. They should have fewer slides. Wouldn't it be awesome if they had fewer slides
by the pool?
If they made the pool smaller.
Whoa. No smaller pools, man.
Pool smaller. We'll cut back the pool. We'll make the room smaller. We'll reduce the view. And then people will come in droves. It'll be great.
We'll reduce capacity.
We'll reduce the capacity. We'll make it more exclusive so that Joe and Gio can't go there. It'll be so exclusive. I don't know. This is how I spend my day. I shouldn't even be bringing it on. I feel like I'm talking about people without them being here to defend themselves. I did invite Bobby Bennett on WFO, NHRA Nitro, and he may come on or he may not come on, and that's it. But I do want to plug Competition Plus because Competition Plus does a great job of, sharing our stuff and Factory Stock Podcasts and all of that thing. And I really appreciate it. But I don't agree with all the concepts out there. I just don't. I don't agree with I don't agree. The only thing I've heard, which you've got to prune back the tree for it to grow. I've heard that.
Okay.
And there you go. Like, you want to get me? Like, there's something you can get me with. Like, you prune back the tree.
But are you cutting too much?
Or you kill it. Or you prune it back too much.
It's one thing to give it a haircut. It's another thing to chop all his hair off, and now it's at an age where his hair's not going to grow back.
And unlike the tree, which will naturally grow, this thing that we have, we don't know if it's naturally going to grow. You don't know. So we shall see. We're going to have the Sports Collision coming up. Of course, you've got an opinion. You can always email me, joe@wforadio.com. You can definitely email me at joe@wforadio.com. Or you can record a bit, for instance, like our great friend Hockey Dad did weeks ago, and I didn't play it.
Wow, Hockey Dad.
Yeah, I did. I failed. I failed to play it. Jeff Rice has recorded some things. Failed to play those. What has happened is...
What is going on over there?
Well, there's a whole story, but I'll tell you after we hear from Hockey Dad.
Hey, Joe, WFO. It's Hockey Dad here, and just wanted to reach out to you guys and let you know that we spent all weekend camping at the infield in Chicago. I was going to say Joliet, but Chicago. And what a great race. The weekend was good. We had some crazy weather come through, had a over 3 hour delay on Sunday. The temperature with the heat index went from 106 down to like the low 70s within, 25 minutes it seemed when the storm started rolling in. But man, just wanted to shout out and say what a race that package on this track made for really exciting racing. We thought the slide job race was exciting last year, but every restart was just phenomenal. It was couldn't tell if you could see it on TV, but they're going 3 wide, 4 wide in the turns that we'd never seen before. So that was really awesome. Hockey Kid and I actually rented a camper and camped out in the infield for the first time. Pretty interesting experience for sure. We'll definitely be doing that. Having that perspective in the infield to see the cars transition from the flatter straights to the turns, it was really awesome. Even for a flat-ish track like Joliet. So anyway, just wanted to say yo to you and Gio and keep up the good work, and WFO.
How about that? Like, isn't that great? Isn't that great? And that's what the listeners should be doing. Way to go, Hockey Dad, who has been around forever. Way to go, Marcus, and I appreciate you, weighing in on our program like that. To me, the idea that we're going to have listeners record into their mobile devices and send in their thoughts. Here's part 2.
WFO Joe, Hockey Dad, back again. How could I forget to mention the Fantasy League? Oh, wait, maybe this is because Hockey Kid is waxing me. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. He's constantly telling me at the beginning of races that he'll see a driver do real poorly, and he'll say, oh, I just took him off my team. But then, miraculously, he'll still score like 310 points like he did this weekend, while I'm in the back drafting with the lap cars with my 210 or whatever. So I wanted to mention that, and then how can I forget to mention Alex Bowman and being there for his first race win? Pretty cool. I think he's poised for a multiple win race career. But who knows? You never know. We'll just have to see how that plays out. But anyway, that was pretty cool, and it was pretty reminiscent of last year, seeing him battle with Kyle Larson. And it was crazy when he got that pass back. Didn't see many of the post interviews since I was at the track, but we were waiting to get the Kyle Larson interview. Hopefully you'll be posting the top 3 press conference. Those press conferences are great. Keep posting those. Those are awesome to listen to, especially while running. So anyway, I'm going to leave. There's almost 3 minutes of voicemail, so I'll stop. WFO.
But not terrible, though. Not extremely long. And I think that's great. So there is some voicemails that we received, months ago. And that's my fault. That is my fault because I have a problem. I have a problem. Should I tell you what the problem is? Yeah, the problem is my email has been overtaken by literally thousands of newsletters. And I don't know what happened, but, my email address, and I guess that's what I get for giving it out on the air, or, I don't know. But the long and short is that I get an email every 3 minutes from someplace. And, I would have to go in and select them all, and they all go to spam and blah, 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 and it's a big pain. And so I'm missing some emails these days, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm toughing it out. I'm making the challenge. Doing my own thing. But way to go, Hockey Dad, Hockey Kid. Thank you very much. And I did get it on the air, and I appreciate it.
They could send it to me also as a CC.
Do you want to do that to yourself? Like maybe some evil listener did this on purpose to me. That's possible. I don't know.
All those newsletters, you just hit spam on those, man.
Well, I know, but it's taking me a lot. See, on my Google, though, like it puts them in its own section. But on my phone, they all come to the same thing. If it is some evil person, though, who thinks that you're getting me by signing me up to all these newsletters, you will be very unhappy to know that I actually enjoy newsletters. And I have learned about a lot of new stuff that I'm interested in because of this. Like, oh, wow, that exists? Let me get in on that. Let me read about it. So, there you have it. But thank you very much, Hockey Dad. All right, let's do Fantasy League results. The weekly winner. Oh, look at this guy. Look at this guy. Rich in Saugus. He has won the week. 375 points. Pretty amazing.
Rich and Saugus. I don't even want to talk about fantasy anymore.
Well, because you're doing terrible. And I would open the phone lines for Skype and invite Rich to call in. And Rich, if you're out there, I would have you call in, except there's some sort of bizarre problem with our Skype. It doesn't ring in the past couple of times. It just doesn't ring in. I can call out, but the ringer, haven't really gotten it. And so we're working on a big fix for that.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm glad that I had the foresight to simply call the guest that was on today on the poker show and not ask him to call in.
You would have known.
I was about to ask him to call in.
No, it's happened for a couple of weeks for reasons unknown that I do not understand. And
I'm going to blame Skype and one of those.
Of course, they're always updating everything. It's like, oh yeah, now the default is it doesn't ring until you go into settings and change it. Except I don't know. But Rich and Saugus had Kyle Busch, Eric Jones, Daniel Suarez, and Chris Buescher for 375 points, and that is a very good day. Followed by second place, I Can See Her Almirolas, 362. That's Steve the Trucker. What's up, Steve? I'm sure everybody's getting ready for the U.S. Nationals. That won't be that long. 4 races away from the U.S. Nationals. Los Jincones, the champ. Is Lowe's name still over there on the trophy?
It sure is.
Are we still supposed to be voting for Mrs. Lowe? Is that still going on? I voted today. Yeah, no, Mrs. Lowe, that's still voting. She got past the first round. I think she got past the second round. She's now in, the next round, but she's fourth in her group. And here's the thing, okay? Honestly, I this is one of those times where I'm going to be fully...
divided up into regions, and they'll probably pick, a regional
winner
of each thing? No,
what it is this is for charitable purposes.
I almost can't believe that you really did actually get the last plaque.
What do you mean? Yeah, no, we're up to date.
No, I know that. I'm kind of surprised
I had a productive
by
all
this
season.
Over here.
But see, here it is. Vote for Miriam Loiza to be the next Mrs. Health and Fitness. But the problem is, and I shared that today, it's there's 2 days left in this round, and she's currently fourth in her group. That is not enough. And she is working really hard, and she's eating all this food, and she showed a picture of her refrigerator, and it looked like extremely OCD. Too many things perfectly spaced in there. I don't even know if it was real. But you get a free daily vote, which I'm voting every day. I'm voting every day. And it goes to Homes for Wounded Warriors. But here's the problem, okay? You can do something called a warrior vote, where you purchase and like $1 equals 1 vote. So if you vote, you give them $10 for the Wounded Warriors, you get 10 votes. And you can do $500. You get 500 votes. And, you have to donate. You have to donate. Now, I'm not saying that donating is like a bad thing. Donating is a great thing. Of course you want to donate to Wounded Warriors. But I'm just doing the quick everyday vote. So I guess we're going to have to put a couple bucks towards this deal. But if you're going to do that, you should do it now. Because there's only 2 days left in this round, and she's in 4th place in her group. And what's the point? Well, let's see these other girls. Let's just determine. Maybe we should vote for the other girls. Let's see. Okay. No, definitely she deserves to be leading the way. How many girls are in this group? Well, there's a lot. Oh, that Yolanda's pretty good.
Oh, this is great. Isn't this
great?
Have
you seen all these? Look at all the girls that have been eliminated. Get over here. This is the first time I've done this. I'm just voting. That just goes to show you.
So now you're actually checking out the competition.
I've never done this before.
So you were just blindly voting for your friend's wife without even thinking that.
Yeah. Somebody asked me to vote if I know them, if they've been helpful to me, if I'm going to vote dutifully because that's what I do. I'm a good friend, right? But look at this. This Terry was kind of cute. But these people have all been eliminated, you see?
But some of these people are like very like
fit,
super. I was gonna go out and say no, like super muscular, like those competition type muscular, like Miss Olympia.
Like, are you saying they're a little masculine?
No, I didn't go that far because they're not like overly big, but they're
that
like
one? That
ripped.
one's a little masculine. Let's move beyond that. So all these girls are in the group.
Yeah, this was a little bit on the
Mrs. Lowe
is
hanging 4th in her group. Voting for the top 10 ends Wednesday the 17th. Because it says
it's just the 4th picture.
No, this is the order.
Oh, okay.
Because it says, look at this.
She's definitely cuter than the girl that's leading there.
2 days left in this round. Currently 4th in her group.
Oh, okay. Very good.
I'm a bikini competitor.
I think they spelled her name
2.
wrong.
I love, it's spelled differently in a couple of different places, I think.
Like I said, I think they spelled her name wrong.
No, I don't know, man. That's it. With the MN. I love to inspire and motivate others through my fitness journey to live a healthy lifestyle. You know, maybe if she wins this deal, she can draw us up a program that'll get you all skinny.
First of all, no one's drawing up a program that's going to make me skinny.
So look at
They can maybe get something to make me thinner.
Let's check out.
No one's making Gio skinny.
Let's check out the chicks that are beating her. These 3. First of all, I feel like she might advance.
I'm telling you, I really don't think, because if those 3 are the competition, then she should definitely be beating those girls.
Listen, what don't you get? Currently 4th in group.
I understand that she's 4th
Here's the
in group.
1, 2, 3, 4.
But if you click on that other girl, does it say she's 1st in group?
Let's see. That's a good question.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, man. Yes. You should not doubt me.
Look, all right. She should definitely be doing better than those girls in front of her.
That's it. The WFO Universe needs to get on there and vote. The link is in our Facebook group.
Oh.
Who is that? Who did that?
Gio.
Los Yankees. 8th home run of the season for Gio Urshela.
Whatever he calls himself.
Yes.
He's just Gio,
well,
man.
Don't distract us from this very important thing.
He doesn't need a last name. He's just Gio.
So go to MsHealthAndFitness.com and vote. And there it is. I got it in. I think we can power this thing on.
MsHealthAndFitness.com.
Yes. And what? You click log into Facebook and it just says free vote, reconnecting. There it is. Looks like you voted once within 24 hours. You can vote free again in 12 hours.
Well, because I think the 2 of us only have one Facebook login. And I think that's probably what something.
Makes sense.
What has sometimes I've been on there and it says you already voted.
Well, come on, WFO Universe. And this came from me saying that Los Chincones was the fantasy champ. Back to the fantasy scores. Low blinker fluid, 354. Tennessee Money Man. Oh, man, Tennessee Money Man. There's somebody I haven't spoken to in a long time. Too long.
Yeah, he usually did check in around the Kentucky race all the time to give us an update because he was going there.
What did you think of the crowd at the Kentucky race? Not great for a race that used to be sold out.
I actually wrote that right here. Kentucky, no longer a sellout, huh?
Yeah.
I swear.
Well, not even close. There's nothing that's a sellout now. This just, what can you say, man? The world is different now. The world is different. Like, what sells out? What sells out? The Super Bowl. And, do Packer games sell out still?
Yeah.
Yes?
There's
okay.
like
they
a
all sell.
lifetime of waiting for those.
Is it still? Are you
yeah,
sure?
Actually, yes.
Are there a bunch of empty seats at Packer games? I don't know. Tennessee money man. Bulls wool. 343. Uper 1. Hockey Dad. Hockey Dad, you had a good week. Look, we broke the jinx for you. We played your thing, and you had a good week.
Yay,
Car 24 fan, Northwest Nitro Fanatics, Patrick the Webmaster, 321, Beats 1, Derail 100, SRX2 Racing, Fat Tire 22. I don't know what position you guys are all in because, well, it doesn't put the number in front, but that doesn't matter because now it's time for the scores. Here you go, the overall standings. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a new leader.
Again?
I think so, yeah, +1 position. Bulls Wool has taken the lead. Am I doing this wrong? Oh, no.
I don't
I'm
think
doing
you
it
are,
wrong,
but
man.
I'm ill prepared
no,
because
I'm doing
I felt
it wrong.
that he was the leader
That's
last
my fault.
week.
Yeah, he was. I blew it. My mistake. Bulls Wool is the leader still.
Yeah, he took over last week. I know what it is that you were looking at the summer.
Yeah.
And he just recently took over the lead for the summer.
And he's going to be in Denver. See,
Which
it all
means
works
he's
out.
Kicking ass. Also, you're going to see him this weekend.
I think so. I can see her Almirolas. That's Steve the Trucker.
Dude, Steve the Trucker's been having a nice season.
Steve the Trucker has got a legit shot.
He's going to get his name on the damn trophy.
Him or Rich and Saugus, who is third.
Rich will choke at the end. He'll be going to. You know how he is. He's always going to those concerts and rock shows, and he's going to forget to set a team
He'll
somewhere.
forget to wake up one day, like Stax, fall asleep at the wheel. Jambalaya J Racing, 4th. Bug Barn, 5th. How about Bobby's Bug Barn? What's up, Bobby? Hope you're still out there. Patrick the Webmaster, 6th. Mr. Fantasy NASCAR, 7th.
Patrick, update the website, please.
Southern Racer X. We're doing one of these Monday shows, people.
No, not for that.
No
for
expectations.
The fantasy.
For everything.
Yeah.
Please.
Come on.
Smothered and Covered, 9th. Car 24 fan, 10th. Our website could be so much better. All I want, you know what I think is what we need on the website, seriously?
What do you want?
No, really. Like the one thing that I really think we need.
That isn't on there that we need?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, here's what happens with our shows, okay? Like we crank out, unlike a lot of people, we crank out content. We're doing 2 shows a week for the most part every single week. I'm not saying they're all the winner, the greatest.
Well, no, the winner shows are only after a race.
No, but I mean,
episode.
like, we have every one of these Ignition shows has got a moment or two that's pretty funny.
Oh, it's
we
got
have
more
content.
Than just a moment
There's
or two.
funniness.
I
I listen to a lot of podcasts, man. This one is different. I'm not saying it's better. I'm saying it's different.
I'm saying it's better.
It's different. Okay? We need a best of section.
Best of.
Right. Where you go in and you find the ones that are the best of. We don't have that. That's our bad. We need to fix that. Best of.
Yeah, I can see that because, you see, I guess on the SoundCloud, it's easy to just do what I call scrolling, like SoundCloud roulette.
Yeah.
And you just, like, scroll upwards really hard and let it go, see how far it goes, and just click on a show.
Right, just click on a show, except wouldn't you want to listen to the ones that are listened to the most? Because everybody's listening, so you want to know what everybody else is listening to? Or why is everyone listening to this one?
Oh, that reminds me of something I saw trending, and I'm going to write it down, and we'll hit that in Gio's Tools or whatever we call it, the toolbox or the shed.
I know what's trending. I don't want to talk about that.
No, I thought this one was great, and I'll let you know about it. It's not going to be...
We don't talk politics on the show.
I don't think... Well, I mean, it's somewhat political, but it's not...
Write it down. Write it down.
I wrote it down.
Write it down. I can't wait to talk about it.
All right.
Super excited that you're super excited about whatever this is. Whatever it is.
Yes.
It's going to be great.
Yes, it is.
Southern Racer.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Southern Racer X 8th. Smothered and Covered 9th. Car 24 fan 10th. These are the overall scores. People who have got a legit chance to get their name on the trophy. It wasn't that long ago, though, Gio, that we had like 10 guys within 100 points. That's over.
I think like the whole top 12 was with 200
now
points.
Now Bug Barn is 5th, 132 back.
Wow.
So a move has been made.
That's what's going on.
Now on the 5s. El Jefe is 15th, right behind Sacramento Racing Fan and ahead of Team 12. 20th is Low Blinker Fluid, who is right behind Stubo and ahead of Los Chincones. Los Chincones jumped up big time this week. Los Chincones is just ahead of Hockey Kid. Or just behind, just ahead of Hockey Kid. 25th, 00 Dead On. 00 Dead On. I like 00 Dead On. Dirty Hippies is around that neighborhood as well. 30th, Keen Racing. 35th, Little Low, who is just ahead of WFO Joe. WFO Joe, how did I do? Did I have a good week? I don't think so.
And just behind Spider Monkey.
Spider Monkey. Gary Corbett, birthday boy. Highline Real Fine, 40th. 45th, Northwest Nitro Fanatics.
How do you know it's Gary's birthday?
Facebook.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
They know everything.
Yep. Barbecue Bob, 50th. Just behind Mischief Bent Valve. And let's see.
Oh, I found myself.
60th, Black Ice. 65th, New Hampshire Bucknut.
Well, you skipped me.
70th, B. West Dyke, 24.
What?
Where's you?
What?
B. West Dyke.
Oh, okay.
Geo, 54th. Team Gray, 56th.
The Ochoas are stinking
GG,
up the
24
joint this
LJ,
year.
keep B. But yeah, at least
But
the
look,
kid.
I'm hanging out with Aviator, Flea Tree, 85 Racing. These are race guitar. Oh, race guitar. No, I shouldn't.
Flea Tree was listening to NASCAR on Sirius XM and heard the air wrench that we used for bleeping.
Yes.
And he's like, hey, they stole your air wrench. And I had to inform him, no. I stole it from them. Listen, all truth. That one was there at XM at the very beginning when I first got there. That was like a Tim Farley thing, the air wrench. Right. He was very proud of it. And I agree. It's much better than a bleep. And so, as I exit the facility, I'd take some things. And that was one of them. Some people took pads and paper, and I took that. Right? Don't tell anybody, though. And there are your Fantasy League results on the WFO Radio Fantasy League. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? So what else there, Giovanni? You got your thing. I want to get into. We got to talk Formula One.
Okay.
We did with the Rich Energy Haas F1 report.
Well, we did start talking about the mortal lock, and we discussed LeClerc and Max.
This is
and Sebastian just
so
being
let's
washed up.
What's to say? Well, okay, let's start there before we get to Rich Energy Haas F1. Is Sebastian Vettel washed up?
The evidence is kind of mounting as to, let's just not say washed up, but making mistakes, error-prone.
But you
whether
can't...
it's the pressure, succumbing to the pressure of not, of his own expectation or of the team's expectations. I don't even know what to say. Remember a couple of years ago, the boss that is no longer there, I forgot his name, kind of threw Seb under the bus a couple of times. Do you recall that?
Yes. I think that just like anything that you're one of 20 guys on the planet, right? The level of competitiveness is exhausting. And this guy's won 4 championships. He's a little older. He said flat out, I've got other things in my life that I like to do. And if that is in fact the case, you cannot.
Then he's done, even if he's not physically done.
Correct. You cannot be on the ragged edge if
you've got other things.
Other things that you're into.
That makes sense.
Just not possible. That's what I'm starting to believe. The mistakes, all right, he crashed, but, the mistake from leading in Canada, and we're getting on the stewards, but the stewards wouldn't have been a problem if he hadn't made that mistake. If he had just done like a Lewis Hamilton would do and just been automatic and drove it out to the win, or Michael Schumacher would have done and just drove it out to the win. He still did make a mistake. A mistake was made. Mistakes were made.
But they seem to be consistently.
Yes.
Now.
And so what are we going to do?
He cost himself a win last year.
Do we have to run him out on a rail, or do we just ask politely, please, or do we? What happens now? LeClerc. You could see he is a hungry young driver. He is doing things, making moves, making them stick, exciting passes. And
that pass around the outside towards the end of the race on Gasly was, that's a man move.
All of those moves. The battle against Verstappen. Verstappen, who has been a thorn in the side of Vettel, and Vettel ultimately crashed. But Leclerc went wheel to wheel with him and came out on top. There's something to be said about the hunger and the desire
about
and
being
the
22, 23 years old, not knowing what
you don't know, not taking no for an answer, not being satisfied. Being satisfied. How can you not be satisfied when you're already a 4-time champion, you're already a multi-millionaire. You've got children at home. They're waiting for you. They want to see you. Daddy, come play with me. You're getting satisfaction out of things other than BS, racing trophies and stuff. How is it possible? And that's, I think that whatever that is that we just described, that is where Vettel is right now.
I genuinely think he might leave on his own.
There are others, guys like, well, what about Kimi Räikkönen? Kimi is definitely good enough to be up there. He's got name recognition. He's a champion in the series to just drive and give it.
By the way, I believe he said this is his last season too.
85% effort and still be really good in a car that's got no chance of winning.
But that's the key there. He's not in a car that's expected to compete for the championship and be the number one driver at that place based on his 4-time champion, past champion situation.
I hate to say it, but I really genuinely believe if we could go back into the Wayback Machine and Alonso could have hung around, a lot of things would have been different. Because the best driver still was Alonso. He just never had a car that could hang.
He got the most out of the car that could not compete.
Right. For all you Ferrari fans out there, there's a little Ferrari crying towel. Meanwhile, Lewis Hamilton, becoming the greatest of all time.
Right before our eyes, just continuing to dominate. Record number of British Grand Prix now, just climbing the wins chart.
It's kind of amazing that he doesn't have a bigger lead on Bottas. That to me, shows a flaw in the system. How many wins does he have?
7.
And how many does Bottas have?
2.
And they're like 40 points apart.
I actually have the standings right here. It's exactly 39.
That's not enough.
That's not 5 race victories.
What did he have a DNF? What happened? It's escaping me. Long way to go. Guy's got 7 wins. Come on. No, listen, people can love Hamilton, which is fine. They can hate him.
I don't remember what happened. He had one race, some sort of incident, because I guess at 30, if it's 7 points, you get more for winning, and he's got 5 more wins. He should be up about 35 points, and he's only up, he's up 39.
So anyway, let's get into the Haas F1 report, which in lieu of discussing the on-track action, let's talk about how cool we were wearing our Rich Energy Haas F1 shirts around the man. Everybody thinks we're elite,
you, Peter.
Elite people.
Thank you all the time for all the great gear.
Yes, but really though, we might end up having to need some new shirts real soon if this story continues about Rich Energy Haas F1. That is such an abomination of a problem that Brian Loans is NHRA drag racer extraordinaire is tweeting about it, right? That's how you know you've really broken through, when you've got such a catastrophe on your hands that the drag racers start tweeting about Formula One. Here is an article posted 7 hours ago by Chris Medlin at Racer Magazine, and I am just going to read it as our Haas F1 report for the week so that everybody understands what's going on with Rich Energy and Haas F1. Because as our American team, I got to say, they started out trying to be unsponsored. And they did so well that some people wanted to get involved. And I really liked the gray and red gear. But then we got the black and gold gear. I have never seen Rich Energy available for sale anywhere that I have been. Have you?
No.
And they want to rival Red Bull and all that. So here's the story. You may have heard there's been some negative stuff going on, but you might not know exactly about it. We're about to dive in. Chris Medlin, Racer Magazine. As race weekends go for Haas, it has been a pretty strange one. And for once, that has nothing to do with tire usage or car pace. There is that, too, with both cars colliding on the opening lap of the race and being forced to retire. But that still managed to take a backseat to the drama whirling around the team's title sponsor. Rich Energy has been an interesting new addition to the F1 paddock, with CEO William Story making a number of bold claims about trying to beat Red Bull from the moment the 2019 livery was unveiled pre-season. If you don't have high aims, what do you have? But over time, some of Story's outlandish statements started to become a bit tiresome, as did the need to take swipes at Red Bull Racing on the few opportunities that Haas has provided by out-qualifying one of its cars. Which I'm against that, period. Like, oh, great. Why don't you look up this guy, CEO William Story, Storey. Let's find out who he is. Do some journalism stuff. Sometimes the establishment needs a bit of shaking up, and there's nothing wrong with rattling a few cages, but the Rich Energy approach was not really going down very well. And it turned out that was the case internally as well as externally. So what led to the bizarre events of the past 5 days? Well, behind closed doors, a number of Rich Energy shareholders claimed to have tired of Story's style and moved to remove him as CEO of the company. One of those shareholders, Neville Weston, was present at Silverstone to meet with Haas and give another side of the story to the one playing out on social media. There are other investors, shareholders, and creditors to that company, Weston told Racer. He is not the majority owner of that company. We were in the process of stepping in as shareholders to take better control of the company. We weren't very happy with how things were being managed, handled, and financial reporting, things that William and the other director were personally responsible for. Things weren't being done to the standards they should have been, so we started to step in. We were working amicably with William to say, look, you need to move out. You're not doing this well. You're not doing that well. He was playing ball. We were on a shareholder call on Wednesday. He didn't show up on the call to discuss these items, and then during the call sent out this thing saying, I'm terminating the Haas contract, which that is the story. That they were terminating the contract, except they can't do that. They didn't do that. And then everybody else stepped in and said, no, the contract is not terminated. We knew straight away that was him going rogue. So we then had to deal with that situation. The claim was made via Twitter and stated the reason behind the termination was poor performance from the team in Austria 2 weeks ago, home of Red Bull. On that occasion, Magnussen had qualified a solid fifth on the grid, started 10th due to a gearbox penalty, but limped home 19th behind George Russell. Grosjean fared little better and finished 16th. Oh, there's the guy. Look at him. That tells you all you need to know. That's the guy from Duck Dynasty. That is not...
No, that's the guy from the FedEx movie. He was playing with that Wilson volleyball. That's Tom Hanks. That's who that is.
That's the guy from Duck Dynasty.
Here, I'm telling you, I think that's Tom Hanks. He's still on the island over there.
It's Duck Dynasty.
Although he's got sunglasses on this time.
Yeah, I'm against it. The following day, a statement from the majority shareholders.
If you want to look like a bum, and that's...
Well, when you got money, you can do anything. And then you got what do they say? If you you make it in the show, and you can do this, you can do that. You're just colorful,
eccentric.
The following day, a statement from the majority shareholders was released through the Haas media channels because the Rich Energy passwords had been changed. That refuted the claim and confirmed the company's commitment to Haas. He hasn't started the process of terminating the deal, Weston insists, despite a letter dated July 11th reportedly showing Haas is claiming $44 million within 14 days in order to allow the termination. There has been no termination of that deal at all. Nothing's changed. I think he tried to claim it was performance in the race. There is nothing in the contract that says anything about performance in races. It's lunacy. What does that mean? Haas is claiming $44 million within 14 days in order to allow the termination? Well, yeah, they probably want the termination if they get to collect.
That if we'll allow you to terminate the contract, but you have to pay this much.
There's a buyout.
There's a buyout.
They'll take the $44 million and then go get another sponsor. And that's when we get our new shirts. Just kidding, Peter. I'm super happy with it. I'm just like addicted to this stuff. The back and forth didn't end there, though, as Story was quoted on the official Twitter account as accusing the shareholders of working with his main target, Red Bull, and Wyatt Bikes? W-H-Y-T-E. Is that White Bikes?
I think it's White.
The UK-based company that successfully took legal action against Rich Energy for copyright infringement related to its logo, White Bikes. Soon after, Story tweeted a letter addressed to Weston that said Haas could be willing to engage in conversations with him once he could provide clear and unambiguous evidence that Mr. Story had been removed as the director of the company and that a new CEO has been validly appointed in his place. And here's a copy of the letter. Dear Mr. Weston, sponsorship agreement, etc., and so on. The next tweet. All right, first of all, can we pause for a second?
This is like a soap opera going on
Twitter. This is great. This is the Haas F1 report on WFO. I am now, I'm soured on Twitter. I'm over, like, I know this is late, but I think that I think Twitter should be shut down.
Wow.
Yes. I believe it is damaging everything. Like, everybody getting in trouble all over Twitter. The people who are living on Twitter, I think, are not representative of regular people. I think they're a much crazier brand of... I'm not talking about Bobby Graham, who communicates with friends and buddies on Twitter. And anybody that communicates with friends and buddies on Twitter, that's fine. But everybody is tweeting all kinds of extreme crazy stuff. There's all kinds of stuff going on. Like, you know, we don't talk politics on the show, but even the most passionate and devoted followers, like President Trump's, like, most hardcore people, are like, oh my gosh, Twitter. And here's a perfect example. This guy, like, you know, this is why you have lawyers.
That's what lawyers
file a lawsuit. Don't tweet it. No, you don't even need a lawyer anymore. You just tweet. I'm tweeting, going crazy, going rogue, tweeting all kinds of craziness. And people have to take it seriously. Elon Musk, remember that? We're going to take Tesla private, blah, blah, blah. Oh, nope, big mistake, man. Everybody making all kinds of big mistakes all over Twitter.
You know what it is?
At WFO Radio, by the way. Please follow our official Twitter account.
And I think here it is, that Twitter and social media in general allows people that second of anger that they have to scream at the world or to say what's on their mind that they might not normally say otherwise.
Yeah, compose a tweet, push it out there, forget all about it, deal with the consequences.
You're like, oh, crap.
I don't think they are all crap. I think that I think half of these people are tweeting stuff on purpose to annoy, to aggravate, to anger, to confuse.
There should be like a delay button that once you push send, it takes like 30 minutes for it to like.
The Elon Musk thing was definitely designed to confuse. To go around.
Who knows? I think, I think Elon, I think these guys know what they're doing, though.
Let me ask you this. Should a CEO of a company be able to tweet erroneous or false information and then potentially affect the value of a company and activity of trading?
Well, I think there's some sort of, I'm sure there's some sort of insider trading.
Yeah, but you can't prove it, though. Like, if we're a publicly traded company, all right, and I know you, and nobody knows I know you. We're buddies from way back in the day. And I'm like, hey, man, I'm going to tweet some craziness at noon. Get ready. Craziness! And then Gio buys some shares, and then Gio sells some shares. They would have to know. They would have to have the manpower to be doing that research. Can they really? Do they have the manpower? What is it, the FEC?
FCC.
FCC? No, that FCC is radio. The federal...
SEC, like the Southeastern Conference.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like that, yeah.
SEC.
Securities and Exchange Commission.
Right. They have the manpower.
Not the Southeastern Conference.
Not the Southeastern Conference. They don't have the manpower to track every person that might be benefiting. Like, maybe you get caught, but that doesn't stop people from committing crimes right now. So I don't know, man. There's just the downside for Twitter is getting very, very large. All the chaos. The next tweet claimed Story had chaired a board meeting in response to the shareholders' attempts to remove him. The exclusive rights to distribute Rich Energy have been transferred to another company. There was no public response from the shareholders, who include former Sainsbury CEO Justin King, father of IndyCar driver Jordan, as the comments were dismissed without concern. So now you've got a rogue CEO taking control of a Twitter feed, tweeting out just craziness, like things that others are not accepting as reality. Maybe it is reality. Maybe it's not reality. Here it is. Look at this tweet with a fantastic little container of Rich Energy being poured into a champagne glass. Right? It's a container. How do you know it's not made of leather? Following a board meeting of Rich Energy Ltd. Chaired by CEO William Story, and in light of the treacherous conduct of minority stakeholders, the exclusive rights to distribute Rich Energy have been transferred to another company, which we will not mention. Mr. Story retains complete ownership, Rich Energy. And this is not true.
That he can maintained ownership, or the other part?
The whole tweet is bogus.
Well, I think he's still the owner.
Your tweet, well, the other people say he's not. You're tweeting something that you say you're doing that's illegal, Weston said. These are company assets. You don't have the assets to it. If you are trying to do that, you are just basically admitting to doing something that's illegal. There's facts, and there's what he says. I want to be really clear, until we get an injunction or get him shut out of those social media accounts that he's set up and has the passwords to, he's probably going to keep doing this stuff for a while. And they are not the views of Rich Energy and the majority shareholders, which is why we made that statement. And I'm like going back to...
I know something.
Rich Energy has $44 million to give to Haas F1. I've never seen it.
Well, maybe they don't, and this whole thing could be a sham. We've seen that happen in racing before.
Of course. Oh my God, so many fakers in racing. So many fakers in racing, race fans. It's a little annoying. Like, how many times? I got the big sponsor. It's going to happen. Here's the press release. Oh, the check didn't come. Oh, they don't have the money.
Yeah, it's not exclusive to any one motorsport either.
They're just a crazy person.
We've seen it across the board.
There's just a crazy person.
Next thing you know, there's companies filing for bankruptcy, and people are being pulled in and out of court.
They lie.
Company headquarters are being raided because the funds have been misappropriated by the ownership.
For Haas, it's been embarrassing, but it's a matter that is out of the team's hands. The main significance is whether payments will be made to honor the existing contract. What is this, home run? Los Yankees? Who is it?
Incarnation.
All right, good. It'll be great if he gets going.
Well, he's been all the offense today, so. Second home run tonight. Yankees take a 4-2 lead. Woo!
The main significance is whether payments will be made to honor the existing contract or if the volatility within Rich will derail that. If he carries on doing it for months and months, it's going to cause problems, but the Haas guys are professionals, Weston said.
They know what's going on. I think that Gene Haas doesn't necessarily need that money, as we know. So it's not going to, I don't think it's not good. And
it's a conspiracy, man. This Weston guy is in on it, too. They're trying to get it. They're all trying to they're making a spectacle of themselves. And they're trying to not pay Haas. Weston is in on it, too. Yeah, this guy, he's probably going to be tweeting for a while. I don't have the password, so I can't control what he says. But yeah, he might not pay. That would really suck, but, whatever.
Oh, well, we'll have exclusive gear that won't be around very long.
Exactly. The Rich Energy Haas F1 gear.
It becomes an instant
classic.
Yeah.
It's going to go with my Benetton
there you go, jacket.
Denim jacket.
It's the jacket.
I should have wore that this weekend, except it was 1,000 degrees.
Oh, my goodness.
I have all these great jackets I can never wear because I live in Florida. Thank you, Justin.
That's not true. There's about 3 days out of the year that you can wear them.
Exactly. They know what's going on. They know it's just one person. They've been great with us. Thankfully, I've been here a few times and know a few guys in Gunther, and they've just been great. Yeah, they want the money. What do you expect them to do?
Lebowski.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Where's the money?
Where's the money?
Where's the money?
They just want to run a race team. They don't need this. It's embarrassing. We're representing a company because these media issues, we're representing a company causing these media issues, but they've been great, and we thank them. They've been a class act. It's the only way I can describe it, including Gene, who just says, I get it, sort it out. Oh, I can imagine Gene is be pissed. We've got to make the company perform better, so it's a business risk. But there's plenty of interest, and we're handling that. What does that mean? What do you mean, Rich Energy? Look up Rich Energy, man. Let's learn a little more about this Rich Energy. This is a long-term arrangement as well. We're only 6 months into the contract. It started really well, and then it went a bit wobbly. Yeah, that's a good way to say it. But we just got to get it back on track. Yeah. While Haas is forced to deal with the unwanted attention that comes with the circus surrounding its title sponsor, Weston insists nothing has or will change in relation to the team's deal. Unfortunately, he still had access to the Twitter accounts, etc., so it takes a little while to get him locked out of that, and then he started coming out with sheer nonsense. As you can see, it's not canceled. We are still on the side of the car. I am sat here today in a very amicable relationship with Haas, which will be continuing. All that's happened is we took steps to remove a CEO who didn't like it and has gone nuts. And that's from Chris Medlin on Racer Magazine. And thank you very much, Chris, for helping us cut through a couple of weeks of mustard.
Well, here, I'll read from, the ever-telling free encyclopedia, Wikipedia.
Wikipedia.
Rich Energy Ltd. is a British beverage company that claims to manufacture the Rich energy drink.
Claims?
Yeah.
Do they or do they not?
Right away, the first line tells you a lot about the story. Again, Wikipedia, we don't know exactly how accurate these things are, but the company was founded in 2015 by British entrepreneur William Story and an anonymous Austrian scientist. The energy drink project initially began in 2009 with the development of the product, and the company was founded 6 years later. Information about Rich Energy Limited and its energy drink is very limited. Maybe that's why it's called Rich Energy Ltd. Due to this, the company has been the subject of controversy regarding the existence of its product. The Rich Energy Company produces the drink claimed by the company to be a premium, innovative, and high-quality British energy drink. The drink contains organic sugarcane, pure mineral water, and alpine spring water. The company keeps the recipe a secret. Of course it does. Brand legitimacy. Controversies regarding Rich Energy's credibility began to spread a few days after Rich Energy made an attempt in purchasing Sahara Force Indian race team. Internet forums and social media posts questioned the legitimacy of the company immediately. The company's financial documents became exposed through Company's House. CEO Story had denied the claims multiple times, stating that Rich Energy had produced 90 million energy drink cans and it was backed with $4 billion worth of endorsements. They have a logo infringement where the court case White Bikes, WHYTE. Is that the same guy?
Yes.
Due to the logo used by Rich Energy bearing too close a resemblance to the logo used by the biking company, Rich Energy lost the case. The judge declaring that Rich Energy had misled the court by claiming they did not previously know about White Bikes.
Okay.
So apparently the deer logo is borrowed from another company.
Yes, well, that's White Bikes.
Yeah. Oh, boy. So, yeah, I guess this guy has been a little bit of controversy, it looks like.
Well, I'm looking all over now, and it's like there's questions on Reddit. Is Rich Energy a scam? That's, from August, whatever. What I am trying to do right now, though, is purchase a Rich Energy.
Oh, like an actual...
Yes.
Okay, well, like, you're going to buy, like, on one of those sites and they're going to deliver it here?
Yes.
Or are you finding out where our local, like, if we could get it at the 7-Eleven?
Well, I don't think we can get it at the 7-Eleven. I think, like, I got it here. I can get it on Amazon. One used. Do I want a used one?
No, what the hell do you want to use
They're
one for?
only in Euro, like Amazon.com.co.uk.
They claim that they're available in the United States.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's go to their site, richenergy.com.
Yeah.
Premium British energy drink.
Right.
We use the finest ingredients, F1 Racing Company, Premium Performance. They got the pictures of the guys, on here. Let's see, shop. Oh, they've got a bunch of gear that doesn't even look anything like the Formula One gear.
Yeah, no, the gear we have is way cooler.
Yeah, look, a 24-pack costs £40, dude. What is this, beer?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no,
Stickers,
I'm seeing that. It doesn't look like...
I just see the gear. Oh, that hat is cool.
I just don't know... Yeah, I got to tell you, their site's pretty simple. I don't see anything about dealers, about where to get it.
Well, exactly. Like,
I can see why there's some controversy involved here.
And this has
been
your
highest available
your Haas F1 report.
Yeah. Oh, boy. We love the gear, though.
Oh, man.
I think it's great.
It is.
And we love Haas.
Okay, so we do love Haas, and we're very upset. Like, this is our team.
Yes.
We feel like our team has
we're disappointed in the season, but we're all in still.
This is it. This is our team. You know what, actually? You want to hear something pretty crazy about it?
Tell me.
Well.
Tell me something crazy.
Well, I got all this great Ferrari gear.
Right.
Like, from years of being a Ferrari fan, and I love Ferrari.
So do I. I have one.
And I'm a Haas guy now. Like, I'm a real Haas fan. Like, they're my team. Like, they're kind of stinking up the joint this year. And I'm rooting for Ferrari, obviously, because I love Ferrari, and they're like my legacy team. But now I've adopted another team. And when I go out and wear the gear, I wear the Haas gear because I got the Ferrari gear. And I'm sure there's going to be a time where I'm going to wear the Ferrari gear again, like when we're winning.
Yeah, when we're winning again and we're champions, I'll wear it.
Yes.
But until that point, I'm gonna support my Haas F1 gear too.
I like the underdog status.
I can't remember the last time I put on a Ferrari shirt. To be honest with you.
I know. So what I did was I went to Amazon.com and I searched Rich Energy, and all that comes up is Red Bull. And, V8 Energy,
makes perfect sense.
Cocaine energy drink. It's called Cocaine, really.
Really?
Yes.
Give me some of that cocaine energy.
Cocaine energy drink.
You know what? We got a lot of that down here in South Florida.
Boy, it's very expensive.
It doesn't come in the liquid form. It comes in the powdered. So you mix it in your own drink.
Highball energy. Boost energy.
Highball, yeah. That sounds very appropriate for down here, too.
Amino energy.
Oh, that's so
but
good.
There's Monster energy all over the
energy.
place. Monster Rehab. But there is no Rich Energy. So I don't know. Hey, WFO audience, maybe one of our listeners over there can send us a Rich Energy.
Yeah, or maybe, can you tell us anybody else, WFO audience within the States, if they sell it or if you've ever seen it anywhere here in the States?
This is something that would have to go through customs, obviously, because it's a beverage.
No, not only that, but, Red Bull, all this stuff doesn't necessarily go through customs how you and I imagine it to.
Well, and that's the whole thing
and it all
about
depends on where it's bottled and all that stuff.
Beverages, in general, is the distribution is challenging because it's heavy. And to get it all over the world, and that's why, Coca-Cola has local bottlers. They have a recipe, and then they go make it in little satellites all around the country.
Absolutely, yes.
Right?
That's exactly
and they mix
it
it. And they mix it up. Is that what happens with these
formula.
energy companies? They're selling a lot of this stuff.
I don't know the particulars of each company, but I would assume at some point when you get to a certain size, like let's say the beers, Heineken. There's a distributor.
Heineken.
Or whatever beer you want to drink that's import, Corona or whatever. I believe there's like a certain distributor here that just kind of imports it. And sometimes they even bottle it like here by that company bottled it at their own brewery here.
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yeah, but there's no need for that to be distributed everywhere. They could just make that in Milwaukee or wherever it is and send it to the rest of the country.
But even if we came up with a great recipe for our own energy drink, we don't have what it takes to get it distributed.
Absolutely not.
A couple of loser schmucks like us.
Oh, schmucks maybe. Losers no.
All right. Good point. So anyway, that has been your Haas F1 report. And, yeah.
We love Haas.
We're
yeah.
This is why.
Didn't Kurt Busch just win? Oh no.
You know what? It's good to have some crazy story to get everybody on board. And yeah, the team is stinking up the joint. Sometimes your teams are going to stink up the joint, and you're going to have problems. Clearly, they're having all kinds of problems. The idea that they smashed into each other on the first lap of the race, that's annoying too. But whatever, we are still Haas F1 fans. This is our team in America. And that's what we do. We root for our own, we as Americans. We root for our own. Like the Ladies World Cup team that won.
That's right.
Was that...
No, it happened already. We already discussed that last week.
On the show, we did?
It happened not yesterday.
When did it happen?
It happened a week ago yesterday.
There it is. Big win. The Foxwood Resort Casino 301. You ever been to Foxwoods?
Negative.
Why didn't I go to Foxwoods when I was up there?
I'm not big at the Foxwoods.
Foxwood, big casino.
I've never been.
There's a...
I would assume it's relative or similar to the Indian casinos we have around here.
Well, there is a... No.
What, it's not...
Well, first of all, our new...
is Foxwoods like a real casino? I don't expect it to be like Vegas.
Yeah, man, Foxwoods. Well, first of all, in Boston now, and you look it up. All right, here's the deal. I've never been to Foxwoods. I've heard that Foxwoods is giant, like it's a ginormous place. But maybe I've heard wrong. But Dave Cohen used to tell me. You remember Derek Cohen?
Yeah.
He said Foxwoods is where the real degenerates are.
Okay.
Like the extreme degenerates are at Foxwoods. But that's not even the deal.
Well, there's 6 casinos apparently here from what I see, and it's like 9 million total square feet, the whole resort. So, yeah, it's a pretty big place.
Right.
But I don't expect it to look like Vegas in there. I don't think they have Vegas.
You know what looked exactly like Vegas is that Boston had an Encore, and it's exactly the same. You know, like those
Yeah. I understand what you are saying.
What's the round one? What's it?
Yeah,
look
at this.
Win.
They do. The casinos have more than 250 gaming tables for blackjack, craps, roulette, poker. There are several restaurants within. Among them, the Hard Rock Cafe. Of course, there's a Hard Rock Cafe.
You can see Dwight Yoakam at the Foxwoods. They've got a Top Golf there, Foxwoods. Why did I not go? Because it's in Mashantucket, Connecticut, Foxwoods. I should have been up there, man. I should have been going to Foxwoods. I did have an opportunity to go to the Encore in Boston, and I decided against it. Why do I want to go to Encore in Boston? I don't even go to the Encore when I'm in Vegas. Encore's not for me. I got to kick it old school downtown. Can't go in there, sit down at a table, play one hand. It's like, here's all my money. Hope I win. I lost. Please leave.
Anyway, I've seen the Foxwood advertising on the Green Monster, and I know they were big on the poker situation up there too.
Oh, how do you know that?
Because I'm all in on poker action.
Have I told everybody that WFO is now available on Spotify? Spotify apparently is where a lot of people listen to their podcasts. Not everybody has their own dedicated mobile app like we do on WFO Radio. And hopefully all you listeners are sharing the crazy hijinks that is the WFO universe with your friends and recruiting and really getting out. You know, it is our 10th year, and that tells you something. Like, we're not quitters. We might not be talented, but we're definitely not quitters. All right, what else we got to get into here, Giovanni? As the racing world goes,
SportsCollision.
Did we talk about, what was it, Simon Pagenaud?
We kind of glanced over that he won the race, and we discussed Wickens' feel-good story.
That's all that matters. The Robert Wickens
and
story
that's it, really.
Is all that matters.
Yeah, and then Pagenaud won, and he won the third. He dominated the race, third win of the season.
They were okay. Here's one that I wanted to bring up to you.
Okay,
that I am surprised that I was interested in yesterday. Got back from the staycation, and the Ochoa family went back their own way, and so I found myself sitting in front of the TV looking for interesting things, and I did find the IndyCar race, but then I found Formula E. Now, I can tell you that I'm not against E.
Oh, by the time I saw your text, yeah, it was way over. I was watching.
Anyway, they were doing a marathon, and I guess they had the final event in New York. This was right across, the One World Trade Center was right there in the background. They had a nice little racetrack set up, I guess, in Brooklyn. And Formula E has evolved dramatically. I had promised myself that I would give it some time. And because I didn't like that they switched cars and all of that, rapid evolution, Formula E. It was really neat. That's why I kind of wanted you to watch it. You'll see it. You'll see it again. Just watch some Formula E. Number one, they don't switch cars anymore. Number two, the cars are extremely futuristic with radical body work, trying to look cool. Three, electric motor sounds are one thing, but when the cars collide, you hear them. You hear them collide. They make a noise when they bang into each other, like two boats colliding. It's a very weird and bizarre thing. 3, if we're even on 3, mostly drivers you've heard of. Sebastian Buemi, Felipe Massa, guys you know, running Formula E. And the cars are crashing into each other left and right. Like there's all kinds of contact. It was entertaining. I watched a race. I did not watch the entire marathon. But it was interesting. It was interesting, not so much the rapid evolution from where we all remember where it was when it started. We all remember that. It was like, to where it is now. Like, oh. Cars are much quicker, much faster. Are they fast? Not really. They're faster. And the quiet is interesting.
I got to tell you, there are times that I prefer quiet over loud, but it's definitely never at the racetrack.
Well, you hear the tires squealing, and you hear the zzz, and you hear when they bump into each other, boom, boom, they're making a noise. It just was its own thing. And Amanda Busick was the pit reporter.
Oh, okay.
And so I had a connection, somebody I wanted to see do. She did a good job doing interviews.
She could give you the inside scoop.
Yes, I should be having Amanda Busick on to talk Formula E.
Instead of NHRA.
Instead of NHRA. That's definitely going to do that.
We should.
Next time. So, well, yeah.
She could be on Ignition.
Of course.
She'll love me.
Oh, my gosh. I think she would. She's a wonderful person. Very positive.
Everybody loves me.
No, they don't.
What do you mean, no?
Greg Carrillo plans a Denver return with his Top Fuel dragster. Do you know what that means? Our great friend Restrictor Plate Sean.
There's someone else that loves me.
Is going to be back working on the team. We were going to try to connect with him.
I don't know why he's always asking me about my green car, though.
Green car. No,
yeah.
You better not talk like that anymore.
My car is black. It's not green. I'm not quite sure what he means by it.
Your green car.
Yeah.
So true. So true.
I told him I don't really drive a car. It's a black truck. But if you think I have a green car, that's all right.
Green car. Yeah, we shouldn't make jokes like that anymore. Very serious subject these days. All right, what else you got? Let's move into Sports Collision. Sports Collision.
On Sunday, the Wimbledon was going on across the pond.
Lots of tennis.
Lots of stuff going on across the pond after the British Grand Prix. They played, I think, probably concurrently, actually.
The sun never sits on their empire.
On the British Empire?
Nope.
Wow, that's pretty clever. That sounds interesting. That sounds like a slogan or something.
Yes.
But anyway, the Wimbledon was going on, and Roger Federer played against Joker, and unfortunately for Roger, it was another one of those 5-hour classics and 5 sets, and he was unable to defeat Joker again. Novak really has gotten the best of him over the last few years. And I kind of, I like Joker, but I was rooting for Roger, there at the end.
I like for the old guy.
The old lion going out.
Yeah.
But really, I saw the numbers, and I believe like the last 30 times they've met, Djokovic is like 21-9 against him. So,
well, here's the thing, as that I learned, is that when you hit the ball into the net, it's bad. I learned that in the Serena Williams final, because Serena just kept hitting the ball into the net over and over again, like every time, like she just would hit it into the net. And
well, I mean, yeah, she had some unforced errors. I mean, I don't think she just completely.
Why did she keep doing that? Why did she keep hitting the ball into the net over and over again, Gio? Why?
I don't know.
Just stop hitting into the net,
like one
Serena.
Of those things. Like, why do those guys keep swinging and missing at the ball sometimes?
Just hit it.
Just hit the ball so much.
Just hit the ball.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little more difficult than it seems. But yeah, nonetheless, it was like a 5-hour classic match, and it was really good, all interesting. And we got to see that new 5th set tiebreaker thing that came into play because of that match a couple of years ago where I believe it was Eisner was involved in that. It went to like 20-something or 30-something games between the two guys. It was unbelievable.
I like that, though. But I felt deprived. I wanted to see somebody pass out.
I don't know if I would go that far, but I did feel like after all that, it was a little anticlimactic to just go to a tiebreaker after, say, when it was at 12-12 rather than at 6-6. If you're going to make me do all that, you might as well just do a tiebreaker at 6-6, in my opinion. But nonetheless, I'm not going to rail on that. I thought it was entertaining stuff to have on in the background as we were having breakfast and doing whatever it is we do on Sunday morning activities.
Breakfast and lunch.
Breakfast at Wimbledon. You know how that is, Saturday and Sunday. More NBA. You know, the NBA just keeps on giving. This week, Russ Westbrook was traded to the Rockets for CP3. Not sure exactly how that benefits either team.
What just happened?
Yeah, the closer just gave up a 3-run home run.
Oh, no.
To the same guy that hit 2 home runs earlier in the game.
You know what, man? Well, first of all,
what are you gonna do?
That is terrible, but it's got to happen every once in a while.
Yeah?
It's got to happen every once in a while. Your closer's going to give up your jack, and you're going to lose the game. You're going to blow a save. He's not Mariano Rivera.
Well, the game's not over yet.
And right,
either.
we can come back and win the game. It's 5-4 Tampa.
Which would be more of a heartbreak for them.
Yes, but get it out of the way now when it doesn't matter for anything.
Absolutely.
Okay, continue.
I was saying the NBA just keeps on giving with their free agency.
With the realignment of the teams.
I don't think anything's happening with that right now.
No, but I mean,
what
I'm saying is that weren't
like
the Heat
geographically,
weren't the Miami Heat going to get another big blockbuster superstar?
Well, there was talk that they were inquiring, kicking the tires on this Westbrook, but it ended up that he goes to Houston instead. I don't think that that's necessarily such a bad play for the Heat. I don't think. While I do think that Russ is a very dynamic and explosive player, I don't necessarily prefer his style of point guard play.
Okay.
But no, nonetheless, NBA continues to steal headlines all over the summer with their free agency. And baseball, the second half began, and as you could hear Joe and I having coronaries with a ball landing 2 rows in on that right field fence.
Annoying.
Yeah, a little bit.
Very annoying.
But again, like he said, not the end of the world. There was a little sadness in the baseball world where Angels pitcher died, Tyler Skaggs, and the Angels had...
Do we know why? Cause of death yet?
No, nothing has been released. No foul play suspected, so
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
The All-Star game. You didn't mention the All-Star game, the All-Star break. We
discussed
incredible
the
home run
All-Star
derby while we were on the air last week.
That's
we
what
had
I was getting
to. It was fantastic.
That was great. That was working my way there.
The American League won again.
Of course, they won like 37 years in a row.
It's pretty crazy how one league it just dominates the other league.
As of recently, but when you look at the head-to-head, the matchup is very close.
Is it, though?
Yes, it is.
Well, I remember when I was a kid, it was the American League won the World Series and the National League won the All-Star game. Pretty much the way it worked.
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah. But then that turned around.
The American League has now dominated in the last 30 years or so. I believe they're like 27-4 in the last 31 years. But
so now it gets serious, though. Baseball gets real serious now.
Yes. The second half has begun.
And
we'll see. The Yankees have a nice lead now. I believe all the let me check the standings real quick because I believe all the
Yanks
teams...
6 games up on Tampa, 10 up on the Red Sox. Minnesota 6.5 up on Cleveland, 8.5 up on the Chi Sox. Houston 6 games up on Oakland and 9 games up on Texas.
The Braves,
those are your American League standings. The Braves 7 games up on Washington, 9 up on Philly. Philly underachieving.
Absolutely.
Chicago Cubs 2.5 up on Milwaukee. And 3 games up on St. Louis. So there you go. The NL Central is a bit of a barn burner. Even Pittsburgh and the Natty are still in the mix. They're all within 6.5.
That is true.
That is the NL Central. That's where your entertainment is. And the Dodgers have got a 15-game lead on the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah, they're about to clinch.
They're about to clinch?
Not really, but yes.
Right.
They're 30 games above 500, and Arizona's at 500. So.
Are Los Marlins still the worst team in the league? No, they're better than Baltimore and better than
They're the worst
Detroit.
team in the National League, but not in the majors.
Yeah, and it's not even close. Like, they'd have to win...
No, and Kansas City's worse than them, too.
They'd have to win 8 games to catch Cincinnati. So the Marlins are,
Or the Mets, for that matter, yeah.
And there it is.
But, yeah, no, the Marlins, no, they're they're not expected to be barn burners by any means. At this point, they'll be lucky if they don't lose 100 games. But they were on pace to only win 40 games at one point. I believe they were 10-30 after 40 games.
They are a much better team this year than they were last year.
So they're clearly going to win considerably more than 40.
We got to hit a couple of games before the season is over.
I think we will.
Go over there.
And so that, like I said, at MLB, we saw a wonderful All-Star game, the home run derby that was going on while we were on, and it was very fun. They've definitely got that going on. I believe the next day was the ESPY Awards.
Oh, Steve Torrance.
Yeah, a little disappointing that Torrance,
really.
but
you know what's disappointing? Seriously, this is the deal. Kyle Busch wins the best driver thing. Best driver isn't even really on the radar. It's great that they even consider it, but ESPN is really doesn't care enough about auto racing. But the bottom line is the whole NHRA world, like everybody rallied and got behind this deal, and we lost. And that's what kind of stinks, is that Kyle Busch, based on name recognition and his NASCAR, he's not a liked driver. He's a star, but he's not like a liked guy. First of all, Lewis Hamilton deserved it. He is like one of the least deserving. Scott Dixon, not really the most deserving. It should have been Lewis Hamilton. Deserved it the most.
What's the whole
point?
Deserving, and
it's a popularity contest.
That's part of it, but I really don't know what the ESPN,
the metric, the formula,
or whatever it is, because as we discussed in the baseball category, the best player, Mike Trout, was not even a nominee.
Right.
And so if you're going to have a best player in baseball category, you're not going to include Mike Trout, then to me it's a little bit, it's fraudulent there to begin with.
Fraudulent.
And I do think that, I could think off the top of my head the nominees were Betts, who is one of the best players, but it was basically Christian Yelich and Cody Bellinger, who, while they did have good seasons, I don't say that they're, again, they could be in the running for best player, but if you have the actual best players not even nominated, I think that kind of tells you a little bit of how they're, what it goes. They're, they're very much into the moment or whatever it is. And I, on the other hand, I'm not as concerned about how you're thinking that, oh my God, the whole NHRA tried to make this push to get him votes and have him win. How could Kyle Busch, who is not even the favorite NASCAR driver, just win it? I think it's the way that the ballot is done, where regular stick and ball fans or whoever, ESPN fans that go vote for there, as you start, and it starts with, best team, best male athlete, best female athlete, and all the way down. The motorsport one, it's not like you just go on there and say, oh, let me go vote for the motorsport, and you can do that, but it's not one of the first categories. I'm sure it's further down. I've voted a couple times, and I just think that the casual sports fan doesn't know any of those drivers, but might have heard of Kyle Busch because NASCAR is on TV here in America, where NHRA is on, but I don't think it's on as much or gets as much regular promotion, so to speak.
Oh, no, definitely not.
So
it's on a rival
network. If you know nothing,
man.
right, and you look there and you're like, Lewis Hamilton, never heard of that guy. And you're like, Steve Torrance, never really heard of that guy. Oh, okay, I think I've heard of Busch, so you just vote for the one guy that you've ever heard of. Click. And that's it. Now, motorsports fans might have just gone on there just to vote for that and not bothered to vote for anything else. But I think generally the people that go on there to vote for these things, they'll just put a vote on everything for the sake of it, even if they don't know it, based on okay, here, I know this person.
Aaron Judge is up with 2 outs, bottom of the 9th, nobody on. This is a great hero moment for Judge.
He's going to walk.
2 balls, 1 strike. Yeah, I guess.
I mean, I would never tell him anything that he might. But I think that's just my thought, that I think it's the way that these things are voted upon, and that casual fans really have no clue over. Maybe if it was John Force.
For me, we'll talk to Steve about it this weekend out there at the Dodge Mile High Nationals and get his story. It is a shame that, but he got a good night. He got to go out there and hang out and party with do whatever he did.
Oh, I'm sure.
Hopefully he made some good contacts, get some people out to the races so we can grow the sport of NHRA drag racing so we don't have to cut it all in half. All right, anything else? Because I've got a review. I have a review.
Well, I saw that they're trying one of these minor leagues that the MLB runs, like the Atlantic League or something like that. They're trying to umps. So, could be something that...
Robo-ump. Like, there's not like a robot out there.
There's the computerized strike zone, and there's an actual ump there that just says what the call is on the computerized thing. So,
oh, man, that guy shouldn't make as much money. He's not doing anything. He's not using his judgment.
Well,
Let's get a kid out there to read it.
He's just like the announcer.
3-2, 2 outs. Aaron Judge, bottom of the ninth. Big game right here. 5 games or 7
potentially.
Games. It's a big game.
Yeah.
The race. Like, I really expect to outlast them down the stretch, but you never know. And Judge, he walks. Good call.
Well, because are you really going to give Aaron Judge something to tie the game with in the bottom of the ninth?
You would now pitch and choose.
I think if they were really smart, they would have never pitched him at all. Just put him on first base.
Right. Don't waste our time. All right, and so now it is time for my review, which is not that old, but it is kind of old. And I got to tell you, it was great. We're talking about Cobra Kai on YouTube.
Oh.
Yes, and the Gray, we got to the end finally of it, and it was so great. I highly recommend it. Yes, I did spring for the YouTube subscription, and I am so happy that I did. This Cobra Kai deal, first of all, you can watch the first episode. I think the first 3 episodes are free, right? And you can watch them. It is so great. I cannot begin to describe how great it is, but I will try. Here it is. First of all, if you grew up in the 1980s like I did, I'm 46 years old, Daniel LaRusso, Karate Kid, all that stuff, right in my wheelhouse of growing up in life. Karate Kid was a big thing. It was a big hit. It's a big movie when Karate Kid first came out. Giant. And then part 2 and part 3, and there were others. They were not as great. 1 and 2 were good. But number 1, really the experience of a Jersey kid going to California, getting his butt kicked, and learning karate so he could fight back. Well, the Cobra Kai is the story of Daniel LaRusso and his great rival, Johnny Lawrence, 30 years later. They are our age. They were our age then. They are our age now. They are old, and life is different. And this show is perfectly executed. They did a fantastic job weaving in and out everything that matters to us now. For instance, Johnny Lawrence, after being beaten by Daniel LaRusso, went on to a life of disappointment. And he's, kind of a down-and-out guy. Whereas Daniel went on to a great life where he is wildly successful. From that moment, like the space-time continuum split. And so what you see is both characters kind of going on in their lives, but they find karate again. And what happens is they weave in the difference in the generations. Like, give me one word that you would use to describe the kids that are in their teens now, the modern generation. Maybe not you, Gio, but what would people our age say about the kids who are teens now?
That they're soft.
The millennials. That they're soft.
Whatever they are.
That they're soft, that they're not tough, that they can't handle adversity, they don't want to do anything, looking at their devices, they're weak, they're too politically correct, they're blah, 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 they don't have a sense of humor, they can't get taken, being made fun of, being bullied, all of those things, right? And that is the show. People from our generation, Johnny Lawrence, decides to restart the Cobra Kai and help kids that are being bullied to become tough and fight back. Okay? That's like one major branch of the story. Daniel LaRusso sees the Cobra Kai being reborn and associates it with everything negative in his life, and he tries to stop it. And there's a whole bunch of things that go down and a lot of great comedy and funny moments. Like a lot of great, legitimate comedy. And as you're getting through the 10-episode season, you realize, like, this thing's got to go on. And it does. There's a second season, and there's a third season coming out, and this thing is going. If you like The Karate Kid at all and can handle some profanity,
Well, here's the thing. Not just the profanity. The whole that part that you kind of don't understand. It's called age appropriate. All right.
Listen, you got to trust me on this.
No, it's not. It's not a matter of that.
I use my judgment.
Yes, I know, and clearly your judgment is not the great when it comes to showing age-appropriate things to the 8-year-old.
I'll take the hit. Okay?
All right?
I'll take the hit on this one, whatever it is. Listen, I showed him the Karate Kid. He loved it. We go to the Cobra Kai.
But the movie itself is not. I would say that the movie itself can be intended and viewed by a younger audience than the series.
Well, of course. It was made in the 1980s, and this is made now. This is definitely not age-appropriate.
No, it's not.
It's definitely not. But we watched it anyway.
Yeah, well, and when he gets popped in the mouth for using terms,
what
do you mean? He's not going to get popped in the mouth.
But not by another kid. I get what you're saying. I thought you meant by another kid.
But when he calls another kid the things that he said the other day,
he is not going to do that.
He's going to get popped in the mouth.
Listen, there were many valuable lessons that were learned. Valuable lessons about life and about being tough and focusing and karate and lots of
there's many valuable lessons that can be learned by showing him Scarface. I'm just not going to show it to him just yet.
That is an exaggerated example.
It is.
It's not.
It is. I know. I'm going way out there to be exaggerated on purpose.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things. You can't put the toothpaste back into the tube.
No, I understand.
It's just too late now. It's too late. But man, was it great. And he loved it. And the time spent with his uncle cannot be replaced. They're replaceable. The lessons, the life. I'm trying to get him.
The term you're thinking of is priceless.
Priceless. Well, I'm also trying to get him into the karate.
Yeah,
because that is the best bonus of the whole thing, is that there's actually some really great karate choreography. Like this thing you think about the story.
He's not going to learn how to fight by watching Cobra Kai.
No, but I wish he would get into the whole idea of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. And that's the big juxtaposition, is there's different styles of karate. Because Johnny Lawrence learned aggressive attack karate that came out of the military because his sensei was a Vietnam veteran. Whereas Mr. Miyagi was, Okinawan, and karate was only for defense. And so it's very different. And they go into all of that. And it's a big part of it. And they reprise scenes, and it's like you will go on a trip. If you're into that, nostalgia, 1980s, I was young, nostalgia, you will love it. And if you have a chance to experience this with your not age-appropriate nephew, you should definitely do it too. It's good. Trust me, it's fine. I'll take the hit on this one. No worries. I love that I'm saying I'll take the hit. What does that mean?
Right.
It doesn't mean anything. There's no hit. There's no
consequence for you.
There's no consequence. But I'll take it.
Exactly right. You're going to take what?
I'll take the hit.
You're going to take the blame when he gets popped in the mouth, or when he gets in trouble at school, or when other parents don't let him come around.
Listen, we had a big discussion about this.
Please.
No, we did.
That's great.
You got to be age appropriate.
Yeah,
you got to understand.
Right, yes, of course, because he's so mature.
Could get in a lot of trouble. Oh, he is.
That's the whole point. You're not getting in any trouble. There's no consequence for you.
No.
It's for him.
Yeah, but he's not going to get in trouble.
And that's what you don't understand, that you have to avoid it for him.
He's not going to get in trouble.
At this age, you have to avoid the consequences for him because he's not smart enough to figure this out on his own just yet.
He's not going to get in trouble.
You're not going to get in trouble. I'm telling you now. Just like I told you that Aaron Judge was going to walk, he's going to get in trouble. He already is.
He's not because of this.
Yes.
There's thousands of other things that he's going to get in trouble of. This is not going to be one of them. He's probably already forgotten everything. Already.
Yep.
Great times, though. Great times. It was good. Trust me. Yes, we got this. Don't worry. I'll take the hit. So there you go. What else? I think that's it. I don't have anything else, and whatever it is, I'm getting ready to go out of town, baby. I've got Steve Matuzik on the NHRA Nitro show. Maybe Bobby Bennett, maybe just Steve Matuzik. I don't know. We're getting ready to go out of town Wednesday morning early.
Well, the call has been put out to Bobby Bennett. We'll see if he can make it.
Yeah, but that's the thing is I was a little concerned.
It's baseball season. Like, he might be throwing high and inside over there.
My opinion of the whole deal was that Facebook is such a terrible place. Remember I said we should shut Twitter down. I think if I was the leader of the world, I would shut Facebook down as well, because you cannot have a conversation on there where you're making a point and have it be civil. It all feels like you're challenging the person's competence and intelligence. And I'm like, with all due respect, I really believe that you guys are not seeing the way it should be because of these following reasons. And people are like, anger. Well, if you didn't work for NHRA, you wouldn't have to worry about, everything
about
I say.
Going to the races.
No, everything that I say. No, what it is that I can't possibly have my own opinion that is pro NHRA because I work for NHRA.
Right.
Is the deal. And that's it. Because I get a occasional check from NHRA, every opinion that I have is what's the word? Manipulated to benefit them. I'm a shill. I'm a shill for the NHRA, is what obviously it is. They can't possibly be doing something right or good. It's that I'm a shill because I work there. And I guess I can understand people thinking that.
Yeah? Yeah, it kind of sucks.
Kind of. But not.
My feeling on the whole social media thing. It's just a perfect anti-social media place. So
it's the worst. It's the worst. You can't do anything. So the Yankees lose.
Yeah, well, you're not going to win every game. But yes, it's unfortunate. We've got a 4-game series. Now we just got to win the next 3 and extend the lead to 7 games. We win tomorrow, we're back.
Simple as that.
That's it. That's why they play a lot of games in baseball.
Right. And, we got 59 wins, man. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's it. Second most in the league.
Good deal.
But anyway, the thing I had that I saw that was trending on Twitter the other day, and I'll just mention it because
the Geo thing
I find it to be hilarious.
About. What is this?
I'm sure you have to have heard of Storm Area 51.
Yes.
You know about this?
Yes.
This Facebook group.
Did they do it?
No, it's supposed to happen in September. But I caught wind of this the other day because it was one of those things. And there was another one that was trending last week, which was, why is Jar Jar Binks trending? And it was because everybody kept putting in there, why is Jar Jar Binks trending?
Oh, really?
Right, so I kind of trip out on some of those. But I had to do a little exploration into this Storm Area 51. And, I'm going to assume that it was started out as a joke. But apparently this is like a big thing now. There's like 1 million followers on the Facebook page. And I saw where they interviewed the closest hotel that's nearby. Apparently their whole 10 or 12 room little motel is booked solid now for that whole week of whenever this is supposed to take place. And again, I say this as I'm laughing because to me it's a joke, and it's a joke that there's actual idiots that would consider storming a military base with their arms locked. So because they can't take us all out if we attack in one big line in unison, right?
I say they do it.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I want to see this.
Do it.
This is one that I want to see.
Well, look, first of all,
because they want to go, they want to go see the aliens that we have captive over there in Area 51.
All kidding aside, I am very interested in the whole, alien thing. Like, is there, were there, did they, Area 51, is there really something interesting there? Do we have some technology? Except
it's not really there. It's in Cupertino where they have all the hidden technology.
Right, exactly. Cupertino.
Anyway.
But the idea that social media, what took so long, finally, and now they're going to all go, and they're just going to all show up, and they're going to, the word storm is kind of scary. They're going to walk in and see what kind of alien life is there, or be shot.
Well, I'm off for the second part.
But at least we'll know. If they are all shot, then there's definitely something there.
See, look, I'll give you the name of the event is Storm Area 51. They can't stop all of us.
They can't stop all of us.
Oh, yes, they can.
They could if they wanted to.
Oh, yes.
They could if they wanted to.
Scheduled for 3 a.m. on September 20th. There you go.
3 a.m. September 20th. They can't stop all of us.
I gotta tell you, this one is one that makes me, it brings joy to me just to see this. Actually,
well, it's very.
And so
funny.
I'm all for seeing how this one's going to turn out.
Another reason Facebook should be shut down.
Yes, absolutely.
Because, really though, people are realizing that nothing matters unless you're willing to kill people.
Wow.
Are they and this is a direct challenge to authority. Basically, what they're saying is this. The government is unwilling to kill its own citizens to prevent whatever is there from being seen. And it's a bet. And what's the answer to the bet? Like, well, I don't know. Those dudes in Tiananmen Square, they made a bet.
Yeah, the Great made a bet the other night and lost too.
What was his bet?
He bet that I was willing to drive him to Fuddruckers or else he wasn't going to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, guess who didn't eat?
Well, see, everything doesn't have to be a little bit of an analogy to the small child. We're talking about citizens attacking a base here and the Chinese killing their own citizens. You don't have to make everything about you.
By the way, for the record, the American League leads the All-Star Series 45-43, 2 ties.
That's pretty interesting. Yeah, the ties, ridiculous.
Well, the most recent one that led to the winner being named the home team of the World Series, thank you, Bud Light.
Yeah.
Was to most
He's got
ridiculous.
A new book out, by the way. You're attacking Bud Light. He shows up on the news the next day promoting his new book.
Why do you think I was attacking him? Because I heard about the book coming out.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, he's got a new book.
Yeah. It's out already. Yeah, I'm sure he went into how great he was as a commissioner.
Oh, I think that's what the book is about. That's the whole deal. All right, is there anything we didn't cover? We covered Lewis, of course. We covered Kurt Busch. We covered Foxwoods and the style of casino it is. We got everybody up to speed on the Rich Energy Haas F1 team debacle, including them crashing their own drivers on the first lap. We talked a little baseball. We talked a little sports collision. We talked a little NHRA drag racing. Of course, the NHRA Nitro podcast comes out this week. I promoted another podcast. All kinds of good stuff going on. Having a great time. I got you up to speed with Cobra Kai. Don't worry, it is age appropriate if you're 40. You will definitely enjoy it.
Or 14.
If anything goes wrong, I'll definitely take the hit on that.
Yeah.
And it's great. Great stuff. We are having a good time. Second half of 2019. Hopefully everybody is feeling, positive and loved by your families and just full of just wonderful positive feedback. Because that's what we're here for. We encourage you to subscribe. Definitely check out the show. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. The best way to listen, though, is the dedicated WFO Radio mobile app, at least for now. If that were to change, we would tell you. And we're in our 10th year, baby. 10th year, WFO. We appreciate everything you do. Thanks, everybody. You got a final thing to say, Gio? You want to sign off? You normally say,
bye, bye, bye. Enjoy the races.
Kurt and Kyle.
The views and opinions of the hosts, guests, or callers do not necessarily reflect that of the station ownership, advertisers, or agencies.
Well, it's hard.
Kurt and Kyle.